Yeah. This ain't about noise, this about patterns. Power, privilege, and what happens when it gets challenged. Mama warrior, golden queen. We calling it out as it is. No filter. White knuckle grip when you don't get your way. Dial tone turning into threats on display. Smile in public but behind that screen you weaponize systems like you part of the machine. Want the manager over nothing at all. It's police in the presence just to make somebody fall. It's rules for the other but exceptions for self. While you rewrite reality to protect your wealth. Call it what it is, entitlement train. Generations built on what was never explained. So when the mirror cracks and the comfort gets shook, you flip the whole script but you hate how it looks. Say it loud, we see it. We see it in the glare, in the tone, in the stare. When fairness turns to fear, cause somebody else there. Not asking for trouble, just asking for right. But privilege don't like when the mirror gets bright. Expose it. No more silence. Expose it. If school hall calls when the child gets profiled. If they look suspicious, said with a smile. Neighborhood shifting when the leases go high. While the same old systems just rationalize. The store clerk watch like they already stole. It's assumption writing stories you were never told. It's bias in moments that seem small on the surface, but stacked over time it defines the purpose. And online it's louder, the mask falls off. Same behavior, just the violence is coming. Rapping out judgment from a cushion place, while others carry consequences they never escape. That's facts, check it. From traffic stops to courtroom bias, from policy lines that quietly deny us, from coded language wrapped in polite disguise, with the truth that survives when the system lies. But we don't fold, we don't break, we don't vanish. We document everything damage by damage. Turn pain into pressure, pressure into flame, till the silence itself can no longer stay tame. So when you hear that voice cutting through the noise, it's not anger alone, it's reclaimed choice. It's truth that's been buried too long underground. Now it rises in rhythm and it won't back down.
Rise up, 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 up.
No more silence. No more silence. Accountability, not denial. Truth, not comfort. Yeah. This ain't about noise. It's about patterns. Power, privilege, and what happens when it gets challenged. Mama warrior, golden queen. We calling it out as it is. No filter. White knuckle grip when you don't get your way. Dial tone turning into threats on display. Smile in public, but behind that screen you weaponize systems like you part of the machine. It's I want the manager over nothing at all. It's police in the presence just to make somebody fall. It's rules for the other but exceptions for self. Why you rewrite reality to protect your wealth? Call it what it is, entitlement train. Generations built on what was never explained. So when the mirror cracks and the comfort gets shook, you flip the whole script, but you hate how it looks. Say it loud, we see it in the glare, in the tone, in the stare. When fairness turns to fear, cause somebody else there. Not asking for trouble, just asking for right. But privilege don't like when the mirror gets bright.
Expose it.
No more silence. No more silence. Expose it. No more silence. It's school hard calls when a child gets profiled. His state looks suspicious, said with a smile. His neighborhood shifting when the leases go high, while the same old systems just rationalize. If the store clerk watch like they already sold, it's assumptions writing stories you were never told. It's bias in moments that seem small on the surface, but stacked over time, it defines the purpose. And online it's louder, the mask falls off. Same behavior, just the volume gets tossed. Typing out judgment from a cushioned place, while others carry consequences they never escape. That's facts, check it. From traffic, stop the courtroom bias. From policy lines that quietly deny us. From corporate language wrapped in polite disguise to the truth that survives when the system lies. But we don't fall, we don't break, we don't vanish. We document everything damaged by damage. From pain and the pressure, pressure in the flame, to the silence itself can no longer stay tame. So when you hear that voice cutting through the noise, it's not anger alone, it's reclaimed choice. It's truth that's been buried too long underground. Now it rises in rhythm and it won't back down. Rise up. No more silence. No more silence. Accountability. Not denial. Truth. Not comfort. Can you feel that? Yeah. You love the aesthetic, you love the vibe, but you feel the person that's living inside. That's that 1920s cotton club ghost. You want the talent, but you hate the host. You call it curiosity, I call it theft. Leaving the struggle and the trauma on the left. That's a disconnect, a bridge built of sand. Trying to own the culture, you don't understand. Trying to face it's that Karen energy, police in the block. The same entitlement that put the system in the lock. You say you ain't racist, it's a misunderstanding, but your comfort is a weapon and your ego is demanding. Bridge the gap or watch it burn. History is a page that you refuse to turn. Feel that in your chest? Let's talk. Drake, pedomania, medicalized hate. Calling us crazy just to seal up the fate. Now it's tone police and then calm down, please. While you navigate the world with the manager's ease. You're a tourist here, I'm a resident of the fire. You want the cool, but you're a cultural liar. It's the let me see your ID for no reason at all. Historical entitlement, watch the empire fall. Intent ain't the impact. Ignorance is a choice. If you wanna bridge the gap, give the truth a voice. Listen, 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 listen. From Jim Crow laws to the corporate suite, the same Karen spirit, just a different street. We don't need your ally posts on the feed. We need you to check the entitlement and the greed. We construct the house that your ego built. We don't want your apology. We don't want your guilt. Yeah, Mama Warrior. The golden queen frequency. If it don't rattle your soul, you ain't listening. What's the gap? I heard the whispers, I did. Saw the thumbnails. Whole lot of confidence behind Wi-Fi passwords. Golden Queen. Let's talk facts. See, that's your first mistake. Thought silence meant surrender. Now I was collecting receipts while y'all was collecting impressions. Let's go. Computer gangsters with a comment section bad. Keyboard carrying energy wrapped in an algorithm mask. Playing YouTube detective with a copy-paste degree clown. Building whole conspiracies that never bother me. You chasing notifications, I'm chasing legacy. Difference between influence and credibility. Every live stream manufactured, every headline rehearsed. Truth don't panic, it just works. Typing my family's name for another little spike. Selling fake outrage, hoping numbers take flight. But clicks ain't character, trends don't last. Receipts got a funny way of catching a fast. Y'all confuse attention with respect every day, and then wonder why your audience slowly fade away. Built your whole platform chasing internet smoke. Meanwhile your credibility already broke. Keep posting, keep guessing, guess again. Every lie got an expiration date. Tick tock. Truth don't need filters, nah. Truth don't need edits, never. They talking loud, so loud from a computer screen. Click, click, carrying energy, thinking they intimidating me. Please, whole lot of typing, whole lot of pretending. Fake when the receipts pull up, that's the end. Game over, facts over feelings. Always truth over trends. Y'all chasing viral views. I'm building something that'll never end. You wanted a breakdown, thought I lose control. Nope. Instead I brought receipts that expose the whole show. Roll it, everybody bold with a webcam light. Funny, internet worries disappear in real life. Where they at? Making 10 assumptions off a 30-second clip. Wow. Then calling that journalism? Man, stop it. Cut it. Don't monetize confused back, I monetize truth. Let's go. Difference between character and chasing YouTube juice. Every fake narrative got an expiration stamp. Walk in the room and watch the whole thing collapse. I don't gotta yell, evidence speaks facts. I don't gotta chase, integrity keep. Always, you can keep the thumbnail, keep on. You can keep the clickbait, take it. You can keep the gossip, yours. I'm keeping my stand, I'm keeping my peace. I'm keeping the refrain. Computer gangsters, click carrying energy. Typing like they running something, not today. Truth don't glitch, never. Integrity don't freeze. Every fake story fall into this meme. When they choose chaos, chaos. We choose clarity, clarity. When they chase attention, views, we build legacy. Golden, 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 golden. Keep the screenshots, smile. Keep the thumbnails, go ahead. Keep the gossip, it's yours. I keep the fact, I keep the proof. I keep my name golden and my integrity. Speaks.
Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Golden. I'm back, y'all, with another live. I just got a few things that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And guess what, y'all? I don't know if everybody celebrates this in every, country, but here in the US, it is, the 4th of July. So, child, a lot of people is celebrating and having, some cookouts and stuff. And I'm gonna be throwing some things on the grill as well in a few hours. And so yeah, the sun is shining, so y'all know what that means. I'm in a good mood. But it is very hot. It's like almost 100 degrees outside today. And so, yeah, I'm trying to stay back. I'm trying to stay back for a little bit. I'm gonna wait for it to get a little bit cooler, and then I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna throw some things in the grill and not real quick, like, and run inside with them, so we can have us a nice little plate or whatnot to eat today. But I hope you guys are having an excellent day in whatever respectful time zone you're in, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or night. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday. It is Saturday. Oh yeah, if you're celebrating 4th of July, I hope that's fun for you. Whatever it is you're deciding to do. We'll probably have some fireworks and stuff going on later. So we'll check out some of that or whatnot, the fireworks and stuff. I love fireworks. So yeah, happy 4th, everybody. Happy 4th. But yes, I just want to come on to talk about a few things, y'all. Y'all know how I do. And I got some videos as well, sure, per usual. And my lovely co-host Imani, she is out of town right now. And so she's on vacation. So she's not here with me. She may pop up in the chat and stuff like that. But as far as like hosting, co-hosting and whatnot, she's with her peoples and stuff like that and having a good time. Because it is holiday weekend. And so you know how we go. But I do got Mama Warrior. Mama Warrior's in the background and whatnot. And she also helping me hold down little Peanut or whatnot. So what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? I hope y'all having a great Saturday. Happy 4th to everybody. She said, we here. Let's get into it. Shout out to Blueberry. Thank you, Blueberry, for coming and joining. I appreciate that. What's up, V-Love? Thank you for coming over, V-Love. I appreciate that. You are Karen, if you can read this. Blueberry, you funny. You funny. And let me go back up and say, I think Star was had popped in for a minute too. I know she said she gotta go in and out. What up, Star? What's going on, girl? So yeah, just a few things to chat about, y'all. You know, and you know how I do. Typical. I'ma run my chops. I ain't gonna hold y'all for too long because it's the 4th of July. We supposed to be out here, at the cookout. You know what I mean? Having a good time and kicking it with the fam and the peeps. But so I was gonna do this live last night. But last night, y'all, I was tired, so I went to bed. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, just a few things I wanted to talk about, right? So, oh yikes! I don't even want to have to do this. Like, don't make me have to do this. I don't want to do it. What's up, dropping the tea? Hey, girl, how you doing? Thanks for coming over, babe. How you doing, girl? I really don't like to have to do this type of content. Like, I really don't want to do it. But it's like 2026, and it's like, yo, we still gotta have these conversations. Like, we still gotta, like, you know what I mean? That's crazy to me. But hey, somebody gotta do it. Somebody gotta do it. And so, it is what it is. I'd much rather not. Y'all know me. Hopefully y'all know me by now. Like, I like to just have fun and hang out and kick it with folks and laugh and joke and all the things, right? Like, I don't be wanting to have to come up and talk about these things like this. But unfortunately, they still exist. It's still an issue and a problem. And, I just, whatever. Let's do some conversation on it. So y'all see in my title, right? We talking about the deflation of the drama and the danger of the current archetype. Excuse me, y'all. I can't even say it today. Archetype, right? And so when I'm saying that, and I'm coming to do, this video and have these conversations with y'all today, it's a thing. It's the thing. I didn't make it up. I don't know who made it up, but it's a thing. And we know that there's some people that move and shift around with that level of energy. And we know there's some people that don't. You know what I mean? So respectfully, we know the ones that do and we know the ones that don't. But the ones that do, it really becomes like a thorn in your side. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a pain in your, you know what? Your ASS. And so sometimes you got to speak on it because I be seeing these people that move and operate like this, and it's like I've seen this in my real life, like in actual places that I go, like restaurants or workplaces and things like that. And then I was like, yo, they really got Karens on the internet too. Like Karen's is really here, like on YouTube. Okay, got it. All right, got you. So I'm like, all right, that mess is crazy to me. It blows my mind, but again, it really don't. Cause I mean, we're moving forward when it comes to technology, right? So that's the thing. We already know technology, social media platforms and stuff like this. That's the future. That's the future that we're going to have to teach our kids, that our kids is going to have to deal with and live within. And it's not always just about being and going through things sometimes in the real world. There's going to be a lot of things you're going to have to deal with on these virtual and social media platforms and spaces. But I was like, dang, the Karen energy and Karen, then carried over to the virtual space. Okay, well, I guess we got virtual Karens. So we have to talk about these things, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. But again, y'all, I'm gonna give y'all a proper introduction. What'd you say? Okay. I want to see her proof that supports her serious accusations that I'm racist. Archetype. Oh, I know who you talking about. Yeah, I know who you talking about. Yeah. Um, let's talk about receipts. What's a receipt? What is a receipt? Let's talk about the definition of a receipt. I believe that the definition of a receipt is not a screenshot of somebody's check. I believe the definition of a receipt is not you recording somebody's encounter or conversation, and especially when they're on somebody else's platform. I think that's weird. I think that's creepy. I think that makes you a stalker, right? I don't think that solidifies as a receipt. Okay, y'all give me just 2 seconds, real quick. Here come my son. Y'all know how it be. Give me just 2 seconds. I so apologize. I'll be right back. Sorry, y'all. You know how it be. Okay, it's the weekend and stuff like that. So, child, my son, he be running in and out of here sometimes, and so it's just like. But if that even happens, child, they'll talk about you about that because you got your kid in the background. Child, shouldn't your kid be with you? Like, where your kid supposed to be? You got your kid in your home, your household. But anyway, moving on, y'all. So, talking about this topic for today, right? We're talking about camera energy. Yeah, we gotta talk about it. It's a thing. It exists, and it puts a lot of people in harm's way, right? And there's a lot of us that are on the other side of that, unfortunately, sometimes, right? And there's ones that wield it. They wield that tool and they love it. They pull it right out of their toolbox, and they have a good old time doing it, right? These little Karen women that we have seen when we are at our jobs, when we're at grocery stores, when we out in public at a gas station, something like that. And then we even have to come to the internet and deal with Karen energy. So yeah, that's what this live is about, y'all. We're gonna be talking about Karen energy, and Karens. That's it. Because I despise them. I don't like their energy. And I see it. I see it from a mile away, how they move, how they operate, how they speak. Um, and I know, like, come on, a Karen when you see a Karen. Like, let's be clear. Like, we know what you up to. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really, it's not a guess anymore. It's too obvious. But it's a shame, that we have to deal with this in 2026, but it is what it is. So anyway, y'all, let me go ahead and read through a few things for y'all real quick. So we know that the internet loves to treat, these things like a massive joke, but it's actually a serious threat to our peace, our safety, and our communities. We all have seen memes, we all have seen viral videos, and someone standing in a store with their arms crossed, tapping their foot, demanding to speak to the manager. And the internet laughs and they call them a Karen. So that's where we got the Karen name from, right? Like that came up. But I want to challenge y'all today to look at the past punchline. Because a Karen isn't just an annoying customer, when we look at the real world impact, this behavior isn't funny. It really isn't. It's dangerous, right? It is an exercise in unchecked privilege, entitlement, and deliberate weaponization of social status that can and does destroy sometimes innocent lives. When a person steps into this archetype, they are acting as a self-appointed supervisor of public spaces. They are deciding who belongs, who has the right to speak, and who has a right to simply exist. And when they don't get their way, they don't just complain. Sometimes they even call for backup. So how this puts people in danger, physical and economic. Let's talk about how this behavior moves from petty to peerless. In the physical world, the real danger comes down to one major thing: weaponized state authority. When entitled individuals dial 911 because a black family is having a barbecue, child, that could be happening this weekend. Okay, it is the 4th of July. Or because a person of color is walking down a street that they don't think they fit into, they aren't just making a phone call. They are fully aware of the systemic realities of policing. They are intentionally invoking a system using false or exaggerated claims of a threat to dominate someone else. They are willing to risk an innocent person's safety, freedom, and even their life just to protect their own unearned comfort. Beyond physical danger, look at the economic ruin it causes. In retail, healthcare, and service industries, these unhinged... Yes, baby. These unhinged, malicious complaints can instantly cost an underpaid worker their job, their livelihood, and their peace of mind over absolutely nothing. It's about a total lack of empathy and a complete absence of accountability. Now, let's go ahead and get into the digital shift. Weaponization on YouTube and social media. But before we get into that, y'all, I'm going to play a quick song break. Y'all, please bear with me. Because my son, you heard him, he's ran out here. So let me just take a quick song break and don't worry. We're going to get back into it, y'all. Just like rock with me real quick. I'm just going to play a song and I'll be right back. Okay. Give me like a few seconds. I'll be right back.
Funny thing about hate, the people that say they can't stand you know everything about you. Every live stream, every post, every move. That's not hate, that's obsession. Run it. Why you watching me if you don't like me? Why are you clocking me? Every upload, every stream, every word I speak. You know my whole life better than the folks that sit with me. Why you watching me? Talking crazy, but you boosting me. You call it hate, I call it free publicity. You in the comments every day promoting me. Why you watching me? You say I'm fake, but you never miss a show. Notifications on front row, screenshot queen. Got folders on your phone, studying my neglecting your own. Every week another rumor gets spun. Same five people talking under everyone, claiming that they win it, claiming that they won. But somehow I'm still the topic every month. Ain't that funny? You know my schedule, you know my guests, you know my circle, you know my steps. Know every sentence, know every laugh, know every live stream, from beginning to last. Girl, that's work. Should've sent the resume. Spent 10 years watching me and still ain't get paid. Meanwhile I'm building while you sitting in rage, trying to stop my shine while giving me engagement. Why you watching me if you don't like me? Why are you clocking me? Every upload, every screen, every word I speak. You know my whole life better than the folks that sit with me. Why you watching me? Talking crazy, but you boosting me. You call it hate, I call it free publicity. You in the comments every day promoting me. Why you watching me? Yeah, YouTube streets got detectives on patrol. Whole channel built around another woman's goals. Breaking down thumbnails, breaking down clothes, breaking down friendships, breaking down souls. Talking all day but accomplishing none. Living through drama like it's oxygen. Trying to recruit every bit of little frame, building fake armies that collapse in the end. See, I learned something. Misery needs company. Happy people don't spend years on a hunting spree. Successful folks ain't checking who I talk to. Successful folks too busy making boss moves. The math ain't mathing. Let's be factual. If I was irrelevant, why you so attached to me? If I was finished, why you still react to me? You built your platform off reacting to me. I don't fear criticism. Criticism helps people grow. But obsession, that's different. Imagine waking up every day to monitor somebody you claim you don't like. That's not power. That's a prison. And you built the cell yourself. Yeah. God got me walking and I know who I am. Can't no comment section cancel God's plan. People throw stones when they don't understand, but every attack on the strength is the stand. I pray for my enemies, wish them healing too, cause carrying that much anger got a cost to you. While you counting my blessings, I'm counting mine. While you studying my life, I'm improving mine. See the difference? One road builds, one road destroys. One creates peace, one just creates noise. And when the camera's off and the live stream ends, you still gotta face yourself, my friend. Why you watching me if you don't like me? Why are you clocking me? Every upload, every stream, every word I speak. You know my whole life better than the folks that sit with me. Why you watching me? Keep talking, keep posting, keep obsessing, keep proving my point. Some people spend their whole lives trying to become somebody. Others spend their whole lives watching somebody become somebody. Choose wisely. Choose wisely. Choose wisely.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me with that quick little song break. You know, I got this little man in order, child. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the digital shift, right? Weaponization on YouTube and social media, especially when it comes to carrying energy, okay? We cannot just talk about what happens on the streets and in the stores, because this exact same toxic energy has migrated online. The Karen archetype has fully weaponized digital spaces, and it's happening every single day right here on YouTube and across social media. In the digital world, a Karen doesn't call the police. They try to weaponize the platform's algorithms and policies to silence creators, destroy channels, and control the narrative. Malicious flagging and false strikes. Instead of talking to a manager, a digital Karen will systematically abuse reporting tools. They will hit a creator with a false copyright strike, spam the flag buttons, or file fraudulent privacy complaints simply because they disagree with a message or because the creator is speaking unvarnished truth. They try to take down a channel, which is a creator's livelihood, because their own ego was bruised. Then we have the comment section mob and the brigading. They don't just sit in their entitlement alone. They organize online mobs. They will orchestrate brigading, coordinating groups of people to flood a creator's comment section, community posts, or live chats with prolonged insults, personal attacks, and hate speech to intimidate them into silence. Then we have to talk about the criminality of it all. Doxing and swatting. This is where it becomes life-threatening, when online entitlement turns malicious. These individuals will dig up a person's private information, their home address, their phone number, their family details, and splash it across the internet, or worse, call for false emergency threats to a creator's home. Whether it is on the pavement or on the YouTube comments, the root behavior is identical. If I cannot control you, or if you do not submit to my comfort, I will use whatever system is available to destroy you. That is the Karen energy. So let's go ahead and play our first video, y'all. And per usual, as I play these videos, I will pause and make commentary, and I'll meet y'all in the chat. But let's take a look at this. This is a little bit about some Karen energy.
Worst thing that's ever happened to any woman ever.
Notorious and nosy, the Karen is the self-victimized villain of our times.
Ma'am, I need you to calm down.
What is your name, deputy?
We can recognize a Karen by her soccer mom look, her entitled meltdowns, or her signature demand to speak to a manager.
Excuse me. Do you know who I am? I'm sorry, that came out wrong. Do you know who I am?
All the attention on the Karen has felt sudden, as if this new entry into our cultural lexicon has come out of nowhere to match our current moment. But looking back over the years, we can find many fictional Karen predecessors in film and TV who can give us deeper insight into her deeper drives and pathologies.
I want to see you and your wife right away about Dorothy.
So who is the Karen, really? She's an entitled, middle-aged white woman.
You're the head of passenger services, and right now we are not being serviced. So what the F-bomb is going on?
She has a reputation for mistreating those she considers beneath her, like customer service and waitstaff.
If you tell me what you do, I'll tell you why my husband will fire you.
Her obsession with hierarchy makes her a stickler for the rules, all the better when she gets the power trip of enforcing them.
You deserve to be punished. Don't you, Mr. Potter?
As New York Times columnist Sarah Miller puts it, Karens like to think that they're the policewomen of all human behavior.
So, you know what? I'm calling the police. This is insane. Don't you even think about going anywhere.
In recent years, the Karen is best known for her racism.
Black Lives Matter! White lives matter!
Her compulsion to interfere disproportionately targets people of color.
Please move, ma'am.
I can. Do you live here?
I'll be answer that question. Excuse me.
And she weaponizes her society's view of white femininity to cause real harm while feigning helplessness.
Well, I'm on my feet 4 hours a day, 3 times a week here. Now I have to go home and I have to cook dinner for myself?
Looking at on-screen Karen characters, we can see that deep down, she's plagued by a core feeling of powerlessness. But instead of addressing it in a productive way, she takes it out on others who have less than her.
Is mint the same as pistachio? One has chips and the other has nuts. Can you not tell the difference? Because I sure as hell can.
Here's our take on how the Karen comes to exist in a world that detests her.
I have a right to my pizza. I have a right to get my order.
And why, while we can pity her, her struggles still don't excuse the pain she inflicts.
All you do is scam, lie to try to get what you want.
Evelyn, stop.
You're a godless woman.
Hi everyone, I'm Susanna.
And I'm Deborah, and you're watching
The Take. Be sure to share and subscribe.
And never miss a take.
Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Skillshare is an online learning community where millions of people come together to take classes that fuel their creative. The Karen as we know her grew out of a convergence of at least 3 memes. The classic "Can I speak to the manager" meme first identified her with aggressive, obnoxious entitlement, as well as her signature haircut.
You know, the haircut that all moms have. That's a soft waterfall in the front, but knives in the back.
Meanwhile, a well-known meme added that a Karen would take the kids in the divorce, just like reality star Kate Gosselin, the unwitting face of real-life Karens after her public divorce from husband John.
You don't talk perfect either.
Perfectly. Karen was also one of the many generic white woman names used on Black Twitter to criticize viral racist behaviors like Barbecue Becky, Permit Patty, and Corner Store Carolyn.
Corner Store Carolyn. I love that now Black people are giving white ladies their nicknames on the spot.
Looking back, you can also view the trope as the spiritual descendant of a Miss Anne, a shorthand and code enslaved people used to discuss demanding, entitled white women in the antebellum period.
Mammy, here's Miss Scarlett's victuals. You can take that all back to the kitchen. I won't need to buy it.
While it's difficult to determine where exactly the Karen moniker came from because of her roots on the internet, there are a few earlier namesakes in TV and movies that some have put forward as possible influences. Karen Hill from Goodfellas, the wife of criminal Henry Hill, fits the central paradox of the trope.
This is Karen Hill. I want to talk to you. Hello? Hello? Don't hang up on me!
She's the victim of a husband who mistreats her, yet assertive in conflict with just about anyone else.
I'm going to tell everyone who walks in this building that until Rossi, you are nothing but a whore! Is this the superintendent?
This Karen is also first charmed by Henry's wealth and status.
One night Bobby Vinton sent us champagne. There was nothing like it.
So her complicity makes our sympathy for her later suffering somewhat limited. Mean Girl's Karen Smith, who's been floated as another possible component of the Karen's creation, doesn't fit the bill for the trope's age, but does share her background and lack of racial awareness.
So if you're from Africa, why are you white? Oh my God, Karen, you can't just ask people why they're white.
The same year as Mean Girls came out, a Dane Cook routine joked that every group of friends has one member that no one likes, and she's usually named Karen.
Every group has a Karen, and she's always a bag of douche. When she's not around, you just look at each other and go, God, Karen, she's such a douchebag.
God, Karen, you're so stupid.
Although she may go by a different name, there have long been Karens in our popular movies and shows, and they help illuminate the most central aspects of the trope. Being upper or upper middle class has afforded the Karen more than her fair share of privileges, like the luxury of throwing a fit in public and expecting no consequence. She'll kick up a storm over painfully trivial matters, seemingly feeling exempt from the imperative to remain polite in public, while acting aghast if anyone treats her with less than the utmost respect.
This school is actually here to serve all the children, not just Amabella.
Don't you talk to me like that.
This kind of conduct comes across as so hateable that fictional narratives have used this model to very effectively manipulate audience sympathy against Karen characters.
I was prepared to sue you. I don't know who I am, but I'm sure I have a lawyer.
After Joanna from Overboard is domineering and cruel to the man she hired to build a cabinet for her shoes,
Well, the entire civilized world knows that all closets are made of cedar.
the audience happily goes along with him getting revenge by kidnapping her and convincing this woman with a brain injury that she's the mother of his 4 kids.
Honey, I was sure you'd remember them.
Well, I think I'd remember if I had 3
4,
children.
honey. Don't forget little Joe.
Karen is also a proud consumer. She values status markers because they keep her visibly near the top of the food chain, which she deems more important than anything else.
This is a $4,000 sofa upholstered in Italian silk.
It's just our couch!
And she typically has narcissistic traits. Admiration for herself mixed with apathy for others is a recipe for trademark Karen behavior. Game of Thrones' Cersei, the Karen of Westeros, values herself and the children that are an extension of herself above all else.
Everyone who isn't us is an enemy.
While her lack of regard for others makes it easy for her to feel justified in going to any length to protect her power and status. This self-importance, the misconception that she and her loved ones are better than everyone else, is vital to what drives a Karen. Even if it's a relatively new trope, the Karen exists to criticize an entitlement that's always been there. Today's Karen critiques focus on the significant harm she can cause through her racism and selfishness. The Karen we see on social media, while unmistakably real, is also one-dimensional. Viral moments of her obvious flaws don't do much to explain why she acts out.
Why are you so bent out of shape over them being
because
here?
it causes extra money from our city.
Fictional examples of the trope, on the other hand, provide a deeper dive into her motivations.
Why did she do that?
I don't know why I did it, toying with the girl's emotions like that. Maybe I was bored. Maybe I was lashing out at Jeffrey.
The Karen's inflated sense of self leaves her expecting special treatment, which is the source of her speak to the manager attitude.
What the hairy hell is going on? I need to know.
But she's also defined by a sense of personal impotence that causes her to overreact when things go wrong.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with this woman. It's like she's power hungry. She can't just let us all get along. I said thank you!
When the series Ozark begins, unsatisfied housewife Wendy Bird feels helpless over her chaotic private life, and her frustration comes out through an inappropriate outburst at someone she can afford to yell at.
It's one of your employees. They told me that you had pistachio ice cream.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
No, I don't think you do.
Wendy has intuitively picked up on a concept that all Karens understand, what How I Met Your Mother's Barney Stinson aptly names the chain of screaming.
When your boss screams at you, you never scream back.
Hierarchies dictate exactly who we're allowed to mistreat, and Karens know their disrespect has to be aimed downward on the social ladder.
Arthur screams at you. You go home and scream at Lily. Lily screams at one of the kids in her kindergarten class.
Notably, as Wendy gains more actual power over her situation, for the most part, she stops acting like a Karen, which betrays that Karenness is often a totally misguided and ineffective manner of coping with a perceived lack of agency in one's own life. Little Fires Everywhere's Elena Richardson is an interfering, overbearing presence who causes damage to numerous lives around her.
You know, I'm just making a leap here, but I'm assuming that Pearl doesn't know any of this, that this has just been your secret.
But it's eventually made clear that she's this way because she's dissatisfied that having 4 children prevented her from having a serious career.
And there is no reason that you can't have another baby.
Is not wanting another one a reason?
Not for people like us.
Cersei Lannister is similarly miserable, trapped by a prophecy that's foretold the downfall of her and her children.
Gold will be their crowns. Gold, their shrouds.
Which, as we've realized, is everything she cares about.
Love no one but your children. On that front, a mother has no choice.
So you could say what most defines a Karen is this contradictory mix of both privilege and powerlessness. One of Karen's key characteristics is her middle age, and this woman feels disempowered due to her status as an aging woman in our society. While it in no way excuses her behavior, it's striking that some reactions to Karens focus on criticizing her appearance or lack of desirability, bringing a noticeable air of sexism and ageism to the conversation.
The white lady is overweight. She's just angry
Looks exactly
looking,
like you want.
overweight white lady.
Plenty of colloquial uses of the Karen name, particularly by white men, can function as an excuse to insult older women, while ignoring that entitled white men may more often get away with similar behavior.
If the sauce does not come on the side, I will send it back. I want garlic bread, toasted, not burnt. If it comes burnt, I will send it back.
The Karen has grown up used to the perks of being a young white woman, but has aged out of that demographic, which is viewed more favorably as culturally innocent. The value our society places on youth frames a spoiled young woman's faults as endearing.
Oh, wish me luck. What for? I'm gonna go get one of those job things.
But an older woman's entitlement is read as far more unpleasant.
Take it back. If I wanted something your thumb touched, I'd eat the inside of your ear.
Stories about Karens may allow us to feel sorry for these women to an extent, yet it's difficult to feel sustained sympathy while watching them act the way they do. The Karen's superiority and self-righteousness even give the impression she doesn't want our pity. She'd rather make us hate her and step on yet another person's neck than admit that she's not at the top.
I will be rich again. I will rise up. I will buy
walking polar bear for every kid in this school.
The Karen deals with feeling like she has no control by asserting as much authority as she possibly can.
No, enough! I will have order.
She's notorious for being hypercritical with a pathological inability to mind her own business.
Angela made several 911 calls about cars going too fast in front of the building, so the police put up a radar gun.
When the Karen is in a position of authority, she'll mold.
All right, y'all, we going to pause it right there for a quick commentary break. Yo, dropping it to you got me cracking up. Yo, you talk about they do be Darrens. For real. It is Karens and Darrens, okay? We know. They both exist. Like, they're out here. But, y'all, this is too much for me. I came across this video. I say, y'all, this could not be further from the truth. Like, it really is, like, an energy or whatnot, or an attitude or a personality where like these women really, you know, move and operate like this. And some men do too. You know, I'll do a Darren live. This one is a Karen archetype, right? I'll do another live and I'll do a Darren archetype, right? So that'll be just focused on the men that literally do the same thing and hold the same level of energy. We'll do that. Because it's fair. I think it's fair because we know there's women and men that act like this. But child, yo, haven't we seen so much of this on the platform and in life? Like, there are women out here that are literally acting like this. And it's just like, yo, this is really a thing. It is really, really, really a thing. I think it's crazy work. It's crazy work. But let's talk about a few things real quick. Okay, so to truly understand the look at this history, Black culture has always had names for this specific behavior. If we look back to the Jim Crow era, folk called it the Miss Ann phenomenon, right? You know, and if you don't know, I have done like a video or a live on Miss Ann. This is an old tactic, but you know, they got a new name for it now, so it's Karen. So let's break down how a joke became a matter of national security and legislation. So between 2004 and 2005, the pop culture seeds, right? The name started taking shape in pop culture. We saw it in movies like Mean Girls, in stand-up comedy routines where Karen was used as a placeholder for that one toxic, unlikable person in the group. In 2024, then there was the haircut meme. The stereotype officially hit the internet. Memes went viral featuring a specific haircut, right? Well, blonde, stacked, like bob. And this, at this point, it was strictly a joke about aggressive retail customers who always wanted to speak to the manager, right? That was a joke. Then in 2018, the shift to weaponized privilege happened. The meme turned into a serious social critique. Videos began going viral, showing women calling the authorities on Black citizens for everyday activities. We saw barbecue Becky's calling the cops on a family using a charcoal grill in an Oakland park. The internet suddenly realized this wasn't about customer service anymore. It was about control and supremacy. Now, since 1955 and 2020, the danger is parallel. So in May of 2020, the world saw the video of Annie Cooper in a Central Park when a Black bird watcher asked her to leash her dog. She frantically called 911, explicitly using his race to manufacture a threat. The global outrage was so severe, it exposed the literal life and death danger of these said calls. It even inspired lawmakers to introduce the Karen Act in cities like San Francisco, making discriminatory, bad faith 911 calls a punishable hate crime. But think about the lineage here. We see the absolute deadliest historical manifestation of this blueprint in 1955 with the story of Carolyn Bryant and Emmett Till. A young 14-year-old boy lost his life because a woman chose to weaponize a false accusation, knowing exactly what the societal structure of her time would do to protect and comfort and punish him. The only thing that changed between 1955 and 2020 and today is technology. The underlying mechanism is exactly the same. So when we talk about today and digital saturation and dilution, now we're at a crossroads. While the term is still used to hold toxic privilege accountable, both in public spaces and against online trolls, the internet has also started to dilute it. Today, people often misuse Karen as a generic insult to silence any woman who sets a boundary, stands up for herself, or speaks with valid authority. But we know it's way more than that. We also have the self-defense and the tool belt. Knowing the history and knowing the dangers, the ultimate question is, how do we protect ourselves? How do we engage in digital and real world self-defense when someone tries to weaponize a system against you? Well, here's some things right here. And we have been seeing a lot of this being done. Number one, pull out your camera immediately. In the modern world, your phone is your shield. The moment you realize an interaction is turning toxic, entitled, or dangerous, start recording. Do not wait for them to call the authorities. You need a contentious, unedited record of the truth. The camera completely strips away their ability to safely lie. Also, maintain absolute calmness. De-escalate. When a person is trying to manufacture a threat, they want to tell you. They want you to get angry so they can point at your reaction and tell the police or the internet, look, they are threatening me. Do not give them the footage that they want. Speak calmly, step back, keep your hands visible, and let the camera capture who the actual aggressor is. And secure your digital footprint. For our creators online, such as myself and some of you out there, facing digital censorship, false copyright strikes, or malicious flagging, keep receipts of everything. Document your communications, file your encounter notices immediately, use the platform safety tools, and do not let online intimidation force you to delete your truth. So y'all, I just want to go ahead and read a little brief bit of that. And let's get back into the video. We got just a little bit more to go. I'm not going to play all of it because I got a few other ones I want to show y'all too. Because it's going to get deeper, right? So I got some videos I want to show y'all that gets deeper on the level when it comes to psychology, right? Because a lot of this stuff is very psychologically based. And so I wanted to play a few things for y'all and watch together with y'all when it comes to that. But this one is just pure, basically, snapshots and things, you know, throughout history and time and all over when it comes to Karen energy. So, yeah, let's keep on.
The rules to comply with her personal beliefs, thus revealing the potential to become a tyrant.
That power remains with the headmaster.
For now.
Much of the Karen's behavior is actually rooted in fear. Fear of losing the status and privilege that her whiteness and social rank affords her.
You didn't make good choices. You had good choices. Options that being rich and white and entitled gave you.
And this fear is what can lead her to be a genuinely threatening force in society.
Are you threatening me? Is fighting for someone else's child worth losing your own?
They carry different diseases than we do.
That's why I've drafted the Home Health Sanitation Initiative.
Constant viral evidence has made it glaringly obvious how often the Karen's unjustified anger is racist in nature.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
A Karen knows implicitly how easy it is to weaponize her white femininity and presumed frailty. She motivates white men to do the dirty work under the guise of protecting white women.
I don't know why I didn't kill him myself instead of going to the sheriff. That would have saved you and the sheriff and the taxpayers lots of trouble.
The history of film reflects how long white womanhood has been used to justify violence against black men. The Birth of a Nation, which shows a white woman committing suicide to protect her honor from a violent black man, led to a real-life resurgence of the KKK.
It was so powerful, it gave the Ku Klux Klan a rebirth.
The main conflict of To Kill a Mockingbird centers on white woman Mayella Ewell accusing Black Tom Robinson of rape because he rejected her advances.
Putting a man's life at stake, which she has done in an effort to get rid of her own guilt.
To this day, the idea that white women need protection from black men persists in many subtler forms too, often in veiled language.
Racist against who? Oh, black people. Keeping the redheaded girl away from the homies on the wrong side of town.
The racist history of the Karen illuminates that though white women have long been victims of a patriarchal society themselves, they have a legacy of frequently responding to this by taking out their repressed rage on the people beneath them. Instead of channeling her own experiences with discrimination to form empathy for other women or marginalized people, she takes comfort that her privilege still places her above most others. In the end, this short-sighted selfishness often backfires on a Karen, as the sad irony is she works hard to prop up a system that doesn't serve her well. While her position as a well-off white woman may allow her to mistreat many people,
You will stay here, and you will not leave this room. Do you understand me?
she'll also always be held back by the patriarchal society which limits her prospects.
Society in which women can no longer read your book.
In 1963, Betty Friedan's The Feminine Mystique helped launch second-wave feminism by diagnosing female dissatisfaction, especially in housewives, as the problem that has no name.
Are you unhappy?
Of course I'm happy.
But as intersectional feminist bell hooks argues, Friedan did not discuss who would be called in to take care of the children and maintain the home if more women like herself were freed from their house labor. She ignored the existence of all non-white women and poor white women. The Karen continues this narrow-minded concern only for herself, the affluent white woman, while neglecting the women and marginalized people who most need help within our current systems. In Black Klansman, white housewife Connie Kendrickson shows how willing she is to participate in brutal racism, even though, as usual, she gains nothing from trying to side with violent white men who keep her at the bottom of the barrel within her own household.
I think we should shut her mouth. Here. I clip the article.
That'll be all.
Ultimately, the Karens in period pieces drive home the truth that their experiences with misogyny don't excuse their participation in patriarchal racism.
I would never make this about race.
Helena, you made this about race when you stood out there in the street and begged me to be your maid.
The Karen remains such a useful cultural touchstone because she can be adapted to almost any situation where someone's being unreasonably difficult. Recently, the Karen trope has been used to criticize the selfishness of anti-science behaviors like rejecting vaccines.
Tell that Quinn girl not to vaccinate in the hospital. I'm pretty sure those shots made my kids stupid.
Or avoiding masks in the time of COVID-19.
Karen, please just wear a mask, you big dumbass.
But with its pervasiveness, the Karen label also risks becoming so loose that it might be losing its meaning. Calling anyone who disagrees with you a Karen dilutes the social commentary the word can generate.
You better quit yelling at me, Karen.
The Karen is less a particular person than she is a collection of related behaviors and a certain worldview, or as Vox puts it, a pejorative catch-all label for a wide range of behaviors thought to have connections to white privilege.
I thought we were friends. White women always want to be friends with their maid.
Fundamentally, the Karen is a criticism of unacceptable attitudes and habits that society has too long accepted as normal.
Yes, I am white. We have established that. I guess white privilege wins again.
Obvious examples like the Central Park Karen or period piece Karens spark an immediate disgust in most white audiences.
Separate, but equal.
But thinking of racists as extreme, one-dimensional villains risks letting ourselves off the hook instead of examining the extent to which any of us might participate in some of these behaviors or structures. Ultimately, the true usefulness of the Karen character is to challenge all viewers to look inward and reckon with the Karen qualities that might be lurking within any of us.
What matters isn't if people are good or bad. What matters is if they're trying to be better today than they were yesterday.
If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and click the bell to get notified about all our new videos. This video is brought to you by Skillshare, an online...
All right, y'all. So that's the end of that video there. We're going to go ahead and take a quick song break. And then once we come back for this song break, we're going to get into a more deeper video, right? So not just showing and showcasing how these Karen women move and operate. We're also going to get deeper into the psychology behind it, right? So let's go ahead and play this song real quick, y'all, and I will be right back. And then we'll get into the next video. Thank y'all for rocking with me. I really appreciate everybody who has joined. Shout out to Mama's here. Asher, what's up, Asher? Thanks for coming. You know, Dropping the T is here. What's up, girl? Star was here earlier. We know we had V-Love was in the building. What's up, V-Love? And then Blue Barry was here as well. And I think that's about it. We got a nice little chat, a nice little group or whatnot. So yeah, y'all, let me go ahead and play this little quick song break, y'all. And I will be right back. We're going to get into some psychology behind Karen and Karenism. All right, y'all. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Ain't no more quiet now. Nah. Tell them run that back. I said, hands up, head high, 10 toes. They monetize pain while the truth get froze. Big talks online, but they hearts stay cold. Still fighting for rights that was promised long ago. We ain't your silence, we ain't your fear. Every time they shut a door, we appear. From the city to the globe, here the people get loud. You could bury one voice, but you can't stop the crowd. Yeah. I'm from the side where the pressure make diamonds, where mothers pray hard cause the system stay violent. Kids learn trauma before they learn signs. Politicians campaign while communities dying. Look, everybody tweeting, everybody streaming, everybody woke till the camera stop beaming. Truth don't trend when the money intervening. That's why the real ones exhausted and screaming. Big change, fake morals, podium capping. Whole lot of hashtags, ain't nobody action. Trying to sell the vision with celebrity distractions. Meanwhile, rights disappear through strategic reactions. Close schools, close polls, close cases. Still see hate written all on their faces. History repeating, just switching the phrases. Different decades, same games, new stages. And they wonder why the people don't trust. Every headline feel dangerous to us. Every promise turned dust, but we still rise up, 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 rise up. Hands up, head high, 10 toes. They monetize pain while the truth get froze. Big talks online, but their hearts stay cold. Still fighting for rights that was promised long ago. Hey, we ain't your silence, we ain't your fear. Every time they shut a door, we appear. From the city to the globe, here the people get loud. You could bury one voice, but you can't stop the crowd. Yeah, Now everybody playing God with the algorithms, programming narratives and calling it the system. Who decides truth? Who decides wisdom? If the future artificial, who protect the children? Too much rage in the timeline scrolling. Young minds vulnerable, anger overloading. Everybody radical when the fear keep growing and the world stay tense while the missiles stay loaded overseas. War drums, contracts get signed. Oil, power, money always hide behind pride. Poor folks pay while the billionaires glide. And the news turn trauma into primetime vibes. Talk peace with a smirk while the stocks go up. Tell the working class, hold on, but enough is enough. People tired, people broke, people fed up. Still they call us angry every time we stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Listen, it's bigger than left or right, bigger than red or blue. People just wanna live, people just wanna breathe, people just wanna matter. But every generation gotta drag justice uphill, while somebody profits off the chaos. That's the part they don't say out loud. Hands up, head high, 10 toes. Truth hit harder when the beat line rolls. Can't sell fear to a soul that knows. Power to the people, let the whole world know. We ain't your silence, we ain't your shame. If the people wake up, everything changed. From the city to the globe, hear the whole crowd roar. You can't dim light when the spirit want war. Rise up, even when they try to divide us. Rise up, even when the pressure find us. Yeah, yeah. Still here, still loud, still fighting.
All right, y'all. Thanks for rocking with me. That quick little song break. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the next video here, y'all. Take a little look of this, and this one we're gonna cut, a little bit short or whatnot, but it give you a little bit more insight about this Karen energy. The entitlement of it all. And you hear a lot of these individuals who are, and I deem them to be Karens, always screaming and talking about that they are entitled to do something. They are entitled to say something. They are entitled. And it's like, yeah, I guess you would think that, because that's what these Karens do. But let's go ahead and get into this video, y'all. I'm gonna meet y'all in the chat.
Oh my God.
No, you did that. Now you're going to jail. Now you're going to jail. That's not our problem.
You can go, man.
Better run.
I mean, really.
Now you could go. She's decided to be an idiot.
She walks into the room not to belong, but to command. The air tightens when she speaks. Her tone, sharp with authority, yet hollow in empathy, cuts into the moment like a blade. Some call her entitled, others label her spoiled, but beneath the surface, her psyche is far more complex and disturbing. This is not merely a cultural meme or internet caricature. The Karen is a psychological pattern wearing human skin. From the outside, she may seem like a middle-aged woman upset over trivial matters. A hair appointment delayed, a coffee order wrong, a store policy she believes doesn't apply to her. But these outbursts, these aggressive demands for compliance, are symptoms of something deeper, the pathology of control. To understand the Karen, you must look not at her actions, but at her belief system. At the core of her psychology lies a profound fragility of identity. The Karen archetype is not born, it is manufactured over time, shaped by cultural conditioning, social expectations, and an unchallenged internal narrative of superiority. She was taught, directly or indirectly, that the world should work for her. And when it doesn't, the disruption is perceived not as inconvenience, but as injustice. Entitlement then becomes her armor, not her power. What the world sees as rudeness is often her defense against an invisible fear, irrelevance. To a Karen, being ignored feels like erasure. Her voice must be heard, not for communication, but for affirmation of her perceived importance. She is often a product of environments where dominance was praised and submission was scorned, where having standards was applauded, even when it meant demeaning others, where being a strong woman meant being louder, colder, and quicker to assert than to understand. This kind of upbringing creates a mind that cannot tolerate ambiguity, only hierarchy. She must know who is above and who is below, and in her worldview, she is rarely, if ever, below. You can see this hierarchy play out in everyday encounters. She doesn't complain to the server, she demands to see the manager. Not because she truly believes the issue is catastrophic, but because she believes someone lower on the food chain must be punished for disrupting her comfort. Her world is binary. There are those who serve and those who are served. The Karen believes she is the latter. But where does this internal belief originate? Often it begins with overvaluation in childhood. Not necessarily love, but conditional praise. She may have been raised in households where performance was rewarded over presence, where being daddy's little princess didn't mean being emotionally understood, but constantly being reminded that she was exceptional, without needing to be kind. In such an environment, she learned that identity is transactional, that value is not intrinsic but reinforced by status, appearances, and how well others obey her expectations. In adulthood, when the real world stops mirroring those childhood conditions, she begins to unravel. The barista doesn't care who she is. The clerk doesn't bend the rules for her. The neighbor doesn't apologize for existing loudly. Suddenly, the world becomes not just annoying, but threatening. Every moment that doesn't affirm her worth feels like a personal attack. She reacts not with introspection, but escalation. Psychologists often identify these behaviors with narcissistic traits, though not always full-blown narcissistic personality disorder. Karens may possess what's known as vulnerable narcissism, a quieter but equally corrosive belief that their needs matter more, that they deserve more, and that any failure to recognize this is a form of disrespect. But here's the paradox. Underneath the narcissism lies insecurity. That's what makes it so dangerous. The louder she shouts, the more fragile she is. The more she demands power, the more powerless she feels internally. It's a self-reinforcing cycle. Insecurity breeds control, control breeds conflict, and conflict confirms her internal belief that the world is against her, thus justifying more control. It's not sadness that lives in her, it's resentment, and resentment is far more corrosive than grief. Grief mourns what was lost. Resentment blames the world for taking it. This is why the Karen doesn't adapt to change. She fights it. She fights new pronouns, new customs, new social norms, not because they harm her, but because they symbolize a world that is no longer designed with her at the center. She believes society is becoming too sensitive, too politically correct, too permissive. But what she's really saying is, I no longer control the narrative, and that terrifies me. She masks that fear with moral outrage. She invokes rules, policies, fairness, but only when they serve her. When those same rules protect others, she grows furious. To her, equality feels like oppression because it removes the privileges she assumed were permanent. And that's the unspoken truth. She doesn't want fairness. She wants exceptionalism. There's also the element of performative anger. A Karen doesn't just get upset. She wants to be seen getting upset. Rage for her is a theater. She performs indignation the way others perform compassion. The raised voice, the accusatory finger, the phone camera pulled out not for safety but for leverage. Her meltdowns are meant to humiliate, not resolve. But beneath all of this is a psychological need that is devastatingly human. The need to matter. She wants to matter in a world that has moved on. In a society where youth is glorified, diversity is embraced, and privilege is questioned, she feels stranded in the past. Her identity was built on a version of the world that no longer exists, and she's mourning its death not with tears, but with rage. And what about race? Let's not ignore it. Many Karen incidents involve white women weaponizing their discomfort against people of color. This is not incidental, it is integral. The entitlement isn't just personal, it's structural. She's inherited consciously or unconsciously the belief that her discomfort is more valid than another's existence, that she can summon authority, a manager, the police, the HOA, and expect to be believed, protected, obeyed. This is not just psychological, it's historical. It's the legacy of power systems where her archetype was always the beneficiary. So when that system fails her, when people no longer flinch, when cameras turn on her instead of away, she is thrown into disarray. The power she wielded so effortlessly is now a mirror reflecting her own behavior back at her, unfiltered and permanent. And she doesn't like what she sees. To understand the Karen is not to sympathize with her. It is to deconstruct her. We must examine the mechanism behind her entitlement. What drives it, what sustains it, and what happens when it collapses. At its core, the Karen identity is a false self, a constructed persona designed to mask a deep sense of insufficiency. This is not a person rooted in truth, but in performance. The performance of being correct, of being above, of being the final voice in the room. It's not confidence, it's a desperate need to never feel wrong. And that's where the psychological danger lies. You see, when someone cannot tolerate being wrong, they also cannot tolerate growth. The ego becomes too brittle to hold contradiction, too defensive to absorb truth. And so the Karen begins to rot from within, not from malice, but from stagnation. She cannot update her software. She runs on belief systems that are expired, ideas about gender, class, race, authority, and worth that no longer apply. But instead of evolving, she doubles down. The past becomes her religion. Back when people had manners, back when kids respected elders, back when the world made sense. What she's really saying is, back when I felt powerful. Her rigidity is a rebellion against relevance. In a world moving toward complexity, she seeks simplicity, rules, roles, obedience. The Karen doesn't want mutual understanding. She wants to win, to dominate the interaction, to flatten nuance under the weight of her certainty. This is why arguments with Karens are never about resolution. They're about submission. She doesn't just want you to agree, she wants you to yield, to accept that her truth is universal, that her standards are moral, that her dissatisfaction justifies your silence. She's not just angry, she's moralizing her anger. To her, manners are not about respect, they're about hierarchy. And when you don't conform to her vision of civilized behavior, it offends her not because it's wrong, but because it disempowers her. Your refusal to be controlled is an existential threat. This explains why many Karen outbursts occur in public spaces, restaurants, lobbies, parking lots. These are shared environments, places that don't belong to her. And that's precisely the problem. When a space cannot be possessed, she tries to police it. It's not about the rules, it's about whose rules get enforced. Let's go deeper. Many Karens also display what psychologists call external locus of control. The belief that their problems are caused by external forces, never internal patterns. When something goes wrong, it's always someone else's fault. The delivery was late, the policy was stupid, the teenager was rude, the customer service agent was incompetent. Never, I overreacted. Never, I was disrespectful. Never, I need to reflect. Because reflection would mean acknowledging that she's not always right. And for someone whose identity is glued together by self-righteousness, that is not an option. So she rewrites the story. In her mind, she becomes the victim, the martyr of modern society. You can't say anything anymore. People are too sensitive. I'm just speaking the truth. But what she calls truth is often just entitlement with better branding. And this victimhood isn't harmless, it's weaponized. She uses it to justify cruelty, to mask prejudice, to avoid accountability. The Karen does not feel guilty when she lashes out. She feels justified. Her logic is circular. I feel disrespected, therefore you are disrespectful. And because you are disrespectful, I am allowed to punish you. It's not reason. It's retaliation masquerading as reason. There's another layer to consider. Many Karens are women who were promised empowerment, but were handed performance. Society told them to be confident, but only if it fit a mold. To be independent, but not too disagreeable. To speak up, but only when it made others comfortable. So they carved out power the only way they knew how. By becoming guardians of norms. They couldn't control systems, so they policed behavior. They couldn't own institutions, so they dominated interactions. This is why many Karens act like self-appointed referees of public morality. They monitor dress codes, tone of voice, social cues, perceived disrespect, not because they're virtuous, but because being the judge makes them feel safe. And what happens when that power no longer works? They panic. When someone stands up to a Karen, calmly, firmly, without fear, it often results in escalation. Not because the confrontation is aggressive, but because it reveals her lack of control. And nothing threatens the Karen more than realizing her authority is imaginary. She may cry, she may call the police, she may accuse others of abuse. This is not just manipulation, it's psychological collapse. The illusion of power is breaking, and with it, her entire constructed self. In some cases, Karens are not only enraged, they are humiliated, and this humiliation turns into vengeance, not against the system that failed them, but against the individual who exposed them. This is what makes the Karen archetype so dangerous. It's not just about rudeness, it's about fragile power in decline, and fragile power doesn't fade quietly. It thrashes, it accuses, it destroys. But there is a cultural function to Karens too. They represent the dying breath of a worldview where dominance equals value, where authority is earned not through compassion or competence, but through fear. They are the last gasps of a system that told certain people they would always be at the top, and are now watching that promise dissolve. And like any fading empire, they don't go gently, they go loudly. You see, the Karen is not new. She is just visible now. The phone camera is her reckoning. The internet is her mirror. She can no longer bully in private. The whole world watches and judges. And unlike the past where shame could be buried, today it is archived. But will she change? Probably not. Because change requires surrender, and surrender requires humility. Two things the Karen mind is not trained to access. To dismantle her psychology would mean questioning every belief she has built her self-worth on. It would mean asking, what if I am not better? What if I am not owed? What if I am just human? And for the Karen, humanity is not enough. So she clings to the myth, she yells louder, demands more, doubles down. But inside the fear remains, if I am not exceptional, then who am I? And perhaps that is the most terrifying question of all, because it means that the Karen, for all her noise, her tantrums, her entitlement, is not confronting the world. She is running from herself.
All right, y'all. So I think that was a pretty good video right there of an excellent breakdown of literally what we've been, experiencing and seeing when it comes to this Karen energy, right? And these Karen women. And I want to be very clear about something right here. When we talk about Karen energy, right? There's not a race that's attached to that. I want people to understand that. This is not just about white women. It's predominantly white women. Yeah, we get that. But it's not just white women that have Karen energy. I've met black women with Karen energy. I've met Asian women with Karen energy. It's just an energy or a mindset or some type of, like we seen in the video, like value system or something that they have been raised and groomed to have that lets them walk and navigate around in this world and think that they're better than other people, and what they say goes and all of the things. You know what I'm saying? And so when it comes to that, it's not race-based. It's an energy. It's a weird, nasty energy that some women hold and have. And then like dropping the T said, we're going to get into the male side of that as well, because it's not even just women. It's men that are also like, it's just this privilege. It's just this privilege type of like mindset and energy that they have, that they go out in the world and they do the things that they do, they say the things that they say, and they move and navigate around the way that they do because they're very privileged and entitled. Star said Kens and Karens. Hey Star, yeah, exactly. And that's what Dropping the T was saying earlier. Like, yeah, like, it be the guys too. Like, it's guys that be having this energy too. And don't worry, y'all. I got it for you. We'll do it. I'm gonna do it. I'll do the content. I'll do it live. And we're not just going to keep our energy on the cameras. We're going to take our energy over to the Kens. Okay? Because we know it's Kens out here that be moving and operating the same way. But yeah, just nasty work. Just nasty work. And we all see it. We all feel it. We all experience it sometimes. Because these people come into your proximity. You know what I mean? And they do the things that they do with all of this Karen and Ken energy. And then it's like, you have to deal with that. But one of the things when it comes to Karen and Ken energy, or is, a lot of this stuff, if we get on a really deeper psychological level, y'all know how I am. I go deep, deep, deep. A lot of these individuals are either sociopaths or psychopaths. Allegedly. And again, this is not for me, y'all. I'm getting ready to put up a video. I'm about to pop it up on the screen. This is from an actual professional who is a clinical psychologist. Y'all have seen me play videos from this lady before. A lot of those videos I no longer have because they're on my channels that have been taken from me. But this is Dr. Ramani. Dr. Ramani. And again, she is a actual clinical psychologist. And so she knows what she's talking about. And so a lot of times when it comes to this Karen and this Ken energy, there's typically sometimes an actual psychological disorder. Sometimes, I'm not saying all of the time, but sometimes that can be behind that type of behavior. So that's the next video we're going to get into, y'all. Let me go ahead and pop this up real quick. We'll play a little bit of it. I can't play all of it because it's long. We'll do a song break, come back, play a little bit more, and then I'm going to wrap this up, y'all, because I don't want to hold y'all too long. It's the 4th of July. For me, it's already 2:15 p.m. Eastern time. So I don't know if anybody got a cookout or something to go to. I got to throw some food out on the grill and, get all of those things done. So I can't spend too much more time, and I'm not going to take up too much more of y'all precious time. But let's get into this video, y'all. I'm going to meet y'all in the chat.
We've covered how to spot a psychopath or sociopath before, but we've never gone this in-depth on the clinical diagnosis behind them, antisocial personality disorder. Welcome to the Med Circle series, Antisocial Personality Disorder, Psychopaths, Sociopaths, and How to Spot Them.
It's just so great to sit down with you.
I love talking with you.
Sometimes we talk about some topics that I think are really, really dreadful and hurtful.
Yeah.
And I think this series is going to be more in that lane.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah. You brought up the cluster B.
Yeah.
Personality disorders. I think I'm so glad we're doing this, having this conversation, because a lot of folks out there are trying to make sense of these difficult patterns, and they put in all kinds of words into search engines online. Cluster B is something that comes out, and a lot of people don't know how to make sense of it. So let me give you some historical background. This word cluster B, it comes from how the personality disorders were traditionally organized in the Diagnostic Manual of Psychiatry and Psychology, called the DSM. The DSM organized the personality disorders, there were 10 of them, into 3 groups: cluster A, cluster B, and cluster C. And they organized the disorders based on their manifestations. Now, back in graduate school, we would remember these 3 clusters by calling them mad, bad, and sad. That's how we sort of memorized them. And by mad, it was sort of that traditional, like, madman, like, a person who's just really off and almost like, very disturbed. Bad meant almost badly behaved, and that's our cluster Bs. And sad were people who are more anxious and avoidant. The cluster B disorders are also termed dramatic and erratic. Now, these disorders, again, are grouped by sort of how they affect a person, and today we're going to focus on cluster B. The cluster B disorders are the difficult disorders. They're antagonistic, They're interpersonally challenging. These are folks who, as a rule, almost always lack empathy. They tend to be entitled. So it's almost like narcissism becomes a nice sort of like the midpoint of a lot of these disorders. Like most of them have qualities of narcissism in different ways. And as you said, the 4 disorders that hang out in cluster B are antisocial personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, and something called histrionic personality disorder. These are probably the most clinically vexing patterns we see in psychology and psychiatry because they can make for very difficult clients. These patterns can interfere with us treating other issues the person may have, like substance abuse, bipolar disorder, major depression, anxiety disorders, eating disorders, the list goes on. If you have a cluster B disorder and these other things, you're constantly sort of like, it's like you're trying to like fight 2 different battles at the same time. And it's really one big kind of war, if you will. So it is a challenge, and it's a challenge for people not only living with the cluster B patterns, but also a challenge for the people living with those people who have cluster B patterns. So that's what cluster B is: dramatic, erratic, emotional, antagonistic, combative, lacking empathy, oftentimes internally very chaotic. They can't regulate their emotions very easily. And some of these are really clinically demanding. Borderline personality, for example, is a very clinically challenging condition. Narcissistic, histrionic clients, they don't even tend to end up in therapy that often. And antisocial personality disorder, those folks often end up in prison.
We've talked about specific personality disorders, but what is a personality disorder in general?
A personality disorder is a maladaptive pattern of behavior and relating that cuts across all situations in the person's life: relationships, work, social functioning, and even their sense of self. It's the long-standing stability that makes these be called personality disorders, because personality is considered to be a stable trait. But their personality styles cause the person problems in all areas of their life. But it's the maladaptive, consistent, and stable nature of these problematic personality patterns that lead to them being called personality disorders.
Can someone be diagnosed as having cluster B disorder? No.
Yeah,
you just
no.
have one of them, and then that's
Yeah, what would end up happening is, like, for example, as you know, I do research on psychopathology and mental illness and mental health. So when we analyze our data, because these disorders are common, sometimes we'll combine these patterns to see if we see any patterns there. So partly it serves as sort of a research kind of an approach. It becomes a shorthand for clinicians, but we as clinicians have to be really, really careful about using that term, because cluster B is code for difficult patient. And there's a
Wait, that's
chance
really
you get-
big.
Yeah.
Cluster B is code for difficult patient. Now, I can already hear people though saying, well, I'm watching that. My therapist said I have cluster B. Now that's rude. Why would you say I'm
It can
difficult?
feel rude. That's why I'm saying we have to be very careful with these labels. It's really meant, it's almost like, again, it's an organizational scheme. If we see, because what may happen, Kyle, is a person may not meet the full diagnostic criteria for any one pattern of those disorders. We chose 4 disorders. They may have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And we might call it, this sort of has a cluster B pattern to it. It means that we might use very specific kinds of therapeutic techniques, or realize that these patterns may interfere with the treatment of other disorders, if you will. But it does imply typically somebody who's interpersonally difficult. I'll be honest with you. I mean, those of us in mental health will sometimes even use that as shorthand in our own lives.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to Thanksgiving. It's going to be difficult. I have cluster B relatives there. You know, anyone in the business will know, like, she's got some really difficult family members. But it's beyond difficult. It's antagonistic and almost like they often don't get it.
Is it almost often that they don't want the help?
Not necessarily. I think, because cluster B disorders take in so much territory, I work with many clients who have borderline personality disorder. They desperately want help. They desperately want help. In fact, sometimes need more help than even they can get in sort of like 1 or 2 weekly therapy sessions. And many clients with borderline personality disorder are very invested in getting that help, but it's difficult for them. They feel so internally chaotic and frightened that therapy can be challenging, not only for them, but for the therapist who's trying to sort of soothe this patient. Obviously, when you're dealing with somebody with narcissistic personality, they don't think anything's wrong. So they're often going to think, I don't even need help. And then, histrionic personality disorder, actually, they're thinking of removing that from the diagnostic manual. These are people who are dramatic and attention seeking and seductive and look at me, how come I'm not getting all the attention kind of thing. They almost also never.
All right, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick commentary break. So I know dropping the T, you were saying just a little bit of how like she's kind of presenting some of the things that she's talking about. You were saying you didn't really care for how she was presenting that. You said, I'm not agreeing with the way she's saying it. And then you said that I don't like how she's describing it like they can help it. It's rude as F, AF. I get that. And then you say calling a patent difficult when you know it's the brain. They can't help it. Okay. That's not professional. Okay. All right. So dropping it to, because I understand the difference between the two. So, because, I study these things. So we have psychology and we have neurology, right? So when it comes to psychology, that is basically like the physicality, like the mental, the choices, the decisions and things that you make that you can sometimes, if it doesn't correlate with what I'm about to talk about, have a control over, right? Like your actions, your behaviors, your decisions and things of that nature that can be affected sometimes due to experiences you've been through in life. But also now we segue over, right, to neurology, right? So when we're talking about neurology, we're talking about the wiring of your brain, right? And so a lot of people sometimes cannot help the way that their brain is wired. And this is why they have certain issues or diagnosis or things that they battle with, combat with or whatnot that are more so harder to deal with because of the brain wiring. It's literally neurology, right? Neurological. Psychological has a lot to do sometimes with like just exposure, right? Like your exposure of life, things that you've seen, things that you've been through, things that you've downloaded, experienced, all of those things, and how you show up and respond to those things, like with your personality, how you act, your persona and things of that nature. It's very much harder to deal with things when it comes to neurology, right? How the wiring of your brain is set up. You have no control over that. Some people are born that way. Some people get into car accidents and things like that where they have now, neurological traumas and things, head traumas and things of that nature, to where they can't control it, right? It's just the way the brain is wired and they don't have any control of those things. And so what you saying that, dropping the T, I understand, exactly where you was coming from when you said that. There are some people that some of the things that they go through, right, and how they are and stuff like that, they can't control it. They can't fix it. They can't help it as much as, and then we have all of these, specialists and doctors and neurologists and all of these things that say that, they can help and aid and assist in some of these conditions and issues that people have. And sometimes they can, but sometimes they can't. And so there's sometimes people that are walking around on the earth with neurological issues that cannot be fixed, cannot be controlled or anything like that. And it does, count for why they may act the way they act and show up the way they do. Right. So I understand that dropping the T, you know what I'm saying? Like I get that, and so I guess her speaking from a clinical psychologist point, she may not be thinking about the neurological part of it all. You know what I mean? Because like a neurologist and a psychologist, they're two different things. They're two different medical professionals. And even though some of their schooling is the same, it's just like what they really hone in on is different. You know what I mean? So like a neurologist would not probably say those things, because a neurologist understands that there's other things outside of the psychological standpoint that they know that people can have, you know, issues or conditions and things like that they can't control. And it's outside of the psychological spectrum. It's more neurological now. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? And so I get what you're saying, dropping the T. I really like that you made that comment. I really like that you made that comment. And then we have Just Risa says, this entire live racist as hell. Risa, why do you say that, Risa? Why is this entire live racist as hell? Then you say to Asher, we're not buddies. I don't know your relationship between you and Asher. Asher says, we know you're upset about that. Just Risa, dropping it. I think you was talking about the neurology and psychology. I think that's what you were saying exactly about that, dropping it. And then Just Risa says, you know nothing, Asher. Oh my God. Please, y'all, come on. Some people need medicine to fix their brain. She is making it sound like they are a lost cause. Yeah. I understand dropping the T. We have to be very careful with that, because sometimes medicine can help. Sometimes medicine doesn't help. Sometimes there's other things that could or could not help. And a psychologist or a psychiatrist is not gonna, they maybe have some insight, right, when it comes to some of these things. But if it's a neurological issue, then a neurologist, you know what I mean? It's like, it's two different practices. It's two different specialties. And so I think, just respectfully speaking, that she's just speaking from her professional standpoint as being a clinical psychologist. You know what I mean? But I do understand there are neurological disorders. So where it's like, you know, you have to take that into account before you make, you know, these certain type of statements that could make people feel a certain type of way, because it's like they have no control over what they're doing. It's literally how the brain is wired. They can't control it. They can't, you know? And a lot of times they know that they can't control it. They know that their brain is wired a certain type of way, or they're wired a certain type of way, and they move and operate a certain type of way, and they can't change as much as they want to. They can't, because it's the wiring of the brain, you know? She's so stuck up for me. She hasn't dealt with trauma, just read books, you can tell. Oh, you don't care for her, dropping it to you. You don't care for Dr. Ramani? Okay, that's okay. If you don't care for her, that's all right. We know you know everything, Just Risa. Oh God. Okay. All right. Risa, what is racist about my life? Like, you know that I talk to you. You know that. And so how are you saying that this whole live is racist? Like, it's not racist. It's not racist. I'm talking about this Karen energy. We know that this is not a new thing. Historically, it's been around. It's just been labeled as Karen in the modern day time, right? Because it's an action, it's an energy, it's a behavior, it's a thought, all the things. We just played all of that, Risa. I just played all of that. We can go back in history and play that and show how that is a thing. Okay? So I'm not trying to be disrespectful here, Risa, and I'm not calling nobody else. Specifically, you didn't hear me speak or say any names on this live. I am just showing this information. I am just showing these videos. I'm showing what it is. This is the reality, Risa. Risa, we have to live in reality. This is the reality. And yes, I'm a Black woman. And you know that I'm a Black woman, that I love all people. I talk to everybody. I want to be friends with everybody. You know that. I talk to you. I talk to everybody. So I'm not a counter racist person as they try to make me be. I'm not that. And you know that if I have any issue with you, Risa, I come to you directly and I tell you that. You know that. Because I'm saying, well, maybe she don't know. Maybe she's not understanding that this is harmful or hurtful. Or maybe she's not understanding that this is racist and Karen level. Maybe she don't get it. And if I like people and I want to give them a chance and things like that, and I don't want to just jump down their throat right away, because I don't just jump down people's throat right away, then I have a conversation with you directly. And you know, Risa, we've had multiple conversations about things that I've told you. I said, look, that's girl, it's giving Karen energy. It's giving racist. I'll tell you that to your face. Because if we don't know, then how do we get better? How do we learn to move forward if we don't know? And I try to give people benefit of the doubt that maybe they just don't know, right? So I'll have the conversation with you. But this is not a racist live, Risa. This is a real live. This is a live about how we live in this world. And not just us who live in the United States, globally, okay? This Karen energy and all of those things are very real. People experience them. They have to be on the other side of these crazy ass Karens that want to come for them. And one of the things that I say that I live by is when people get very triggered, when something is being talked about, sometimes, I'm sorry, I got to be real about it. It makes me think that maybe you're triggered because this might be who you are and what you do. And I'm sorry, Risa, I'm not saying that to embarrass you. I'm not saying, you know, I'll tell you straight up, straight to you. You know I will. But why do you say that this live is racist? My live is racist? This content is racist? I've seen you on other channels, in other chats, where racist shit was happening and going down in real time, and you were cheering it on, Risa. So, Risa, I really don't like to do this, because you know that I try to keep it cordial. I try to keep it cute. But don't say that. Do not say that this live and this content that I'm doing is racist. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's shining a mirror on racism and racist behavior. That's it. And then what do I like to do? What y'all know I like to do? I like to go a step further, right? Because I want to know, where does this all come from? Why is this happening? Could it be possibly somebody may have something deeper going on that we may not necessarily know? Well, maybe like psychological, neurological. That's why I add this video in, right? Because I understand there are people out there that may be moving and operating in a certain type of way, and there may be things that are in place to where they can't control. And I'm not making excuses. Please don't say that, because I'm not making excuses. But what I'm saying is we have to be fair across the board. I know some people have issues neurologically, psychologically, right? But then there's just some low down, I know what I'm doing, I'm perfectly fine, and I want to be a Karen and a racist. There's all of these different dynamics, but I like to try to cover everything. You know, that's how I like to try to do my content, because I try to be fair. I know some people can't control. Like, okay, let's talk about people who have Tourette syndrome, right? People who have Tourette syndrome cannot control the tics. It's a neurological disorder. Then you have people that pretend that they have Tourette syndrome, and they use that, you know, to be nasty work and things like that. We know that too. But there are actual people that have Tourette syndrome that cannot control their tics. But a lot of their tics are downloaded and learned from where they're at, what they listen to, who they're around, the conversations that they hear. That's how a tic becomes a tic. Because a tic is just an expression. It's just like talking, but they can't control, right? It just pops out like word vomit, right? Like we can say something and we in our mind say, I want to say this, I'm going to say it now, and boom, we control when we're going to say it, right? People with Tourette syndrome, they have a idea in their mind. They know something that has been downloaded in their mind, but they don't have a control over when it comes out of their mouth, right? So they have tics where they just say things, but those things are downloaded in their mind because of the things that they've been around, they've experienced, they've heard, they've listened to, and all of those things, right? But we do know it's a neurological disorder that they can't control what comes out. But what gets downloaded and what they hear and what they sit around and they listen and they absorb, that comes from, just their environment, where they're at. You know what I'm saying? And because they have this neurological disorder, it's unfortunate that they're hearing all of these things from their environment. They're hearing their family and their friends say these things and talk these things and drill these things over and over again. And then when a tic happens, that's in the mind, it shoots out the mouth. They can't control that. It's just like when we are, if people don't have that condition, it's like you can think in your mind, I'm not going to come out my mouth and say something, that might be offensive to someone, right? If that's not my intention. Maybe my intention is to say something offensive to somebody. But if my intention is not to do so, I have control over my neurological systems to where I can control what I say when I say it. People who are suffering with Tourette syndrome and things of that nature and stuff like that, they can't control their neurological systems, right? And your brain, everybody knows your brain and your neurological system is what makes everything else function. Without that, you're done. There's nothing. You're not going to be able to do anything. Your brain controls everything. And if they can't control their thoughts, they can't control their speaking engagements and things like that, that's a neurological disorder. Okay. And so going back to you dropping the T, I understand. You know what I'm saying? It's conditions that people have that are very much neurological to where they don't hold the control over the choices that sometimes they make and the things that sometimes happen. Like just if they talking or something come out their mouth or something that they say, tics and stuff like that, neurologically, they don't have the control over that. They can't help it. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? So there is an understanding when it comes to that. But when we see a lot of these Karens and stuff like that, getting back to the content, that is not racist. Thank you very much, Star, and everybody else. It is not racist, Risa. And Risa, it is not racist. And I will talk to you directly and I will have a conversation about it with you. It's not racist, Risa. I've told you multiple times about things that are racist because I was like, well, maybe she don't understand. Maybe she don't get it. Maybe she don't see that that's racist. So I give a benefit of the doubt and I talk to you, Risa, and you know that. So come on. This video, my live, this is not a racist live, Risa, and you know that. But anyway, calm down, Quesadilla. Who's Quesadilla? Me? I ain't no Quesadilla, bro. Okay, it is you got receipts. This isn't racist. Stop. Okay, yeah, we're moving on. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm behind in the comments, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm catching up. Oh, Imani. Hey, Imani. You want to come? Do you want to come join me? I can send you the link. I didn't know you was in here. I didn't see the comments. Because, I just go on the tangent, girl, and just be talking. Hey, girl, I know you out there and you're having a wonderful weekend, spending time out with your family and friends and stuff. So, girl, you on vacation. So, yeah, that's why my lovely co-host isn't here with me today. She's enjoying her family and her time as we should be doing, y'all. And I'm going to be doing that shortly, as soon as I end this video. I didn't get a chance to go live yesterday or the day before, so I wanted to come on and do a little something today. But yeah. What's up, girl? What's up? Yeah, I just try to just make it all understandable for all of us because I feel like I just want to navigate through the space where we all are connected and like love one another. Like that's the energy that I always like to come off with. You know what I mean? And I hate the fact that there's divide, especially when it comes to race stuff and things like that. I hate that. That really turns my stomach. It really does. I hate race stuff. I really do. I don't want to have to be the one up here fighting for justice and, showing and having to, do these things to show the inequalities when it comes to racism. I don't want to have to do it. Do I have to? I feel like I do. I feel like it's my responsibility to do so because I want the world to be a better place. I want us all to get along and just see each other for who we really are as people and beyond our race and our skin tone and all of those things. That's literally what I want at the core. At the core of my soul, that is what I want. Hell, who cares what I want, right? It ain't my world. You know what I'm saying? I'm just one person in it. And I try to make the biggest difference that I can in whatever way that I can. And so, and then you try to do that, and then you still get beat up for it, and you get it. It's not easy. It's not easy. I'm telling y'all right now, it is not easy trying to mend or be someone who has energy that wants us as a people to be united. It's not easy being that type of person. It's not. Because you got too many people pulling to the left. You got too many people pulling to the right. You got too many people set in their ways. It's just, you can't do it. It's difficult. It drives me nuts. It does. And all I ever want is for us all to be able to love each other and be together. That's literally all I ever want in this life, in this world. And I promise to God, y'all, I don't know how to do it. And I think I'm going to take a song break because I'm getting emotional. But if people really knew me for who I am, that's all I want. I just want us all to get along. I don't understand why we can't. And I'm trying my best. I'm trying. Don't be laughing, Star. Oh my God, Star will make me stop crying and make me laugh. Because she gonna laugh at me, child. Star, don't be laughing. I'm serious. I am. No, for real, Star, I'm serious. For real. I really am. But I thank you that she made me laugh. But I'm telling you for real, like I've been like this my whole life. I just never understood the division. I just never understood like why it gotta be like this. Race and all the religion, the things that can be in place sometimes and cause people to have a divide. Like I never understood it. It didn't make no sense to me. Why do we have to be divided just because we're different? I never get it. It just seems like it's so simple. But in order for us to truly love and support and rock with one another, then yeah, we all have our own experiences, histories, things that we have been through, right? And we have to understand that and be respectful when it comes to that with each and every one of us. And I know that I'm a Black woman, okay. And there's a history there when it comes to Black people. But it's not just a history when it comes to just Black people. Other races of people and groups of people have a history too. Things that their people have been through, that their country goes through. And I just wanted to meet up with people and talk to people and get a better understanding and learn. I wanted to learn because I don't know everything that happens all over this globe and everybody else's state. I don't even travel state-wise that much. I live in the United States, but I don't always travel state-wise. So I can learn what's going on in other states in my country. I can learn what's going on in other countries and people that are living and going through what they're going through. And then I try to figure out, how can we make this better? How can we make it so we all can love one another and get along and not have to fight and not have to, think about our differences. Let's think more about our similarities. That's all I want. That's all I've ever wanted. Let me take a quick song break. I got to take a break real quick. I'm sorry. I apologize. Just give me y'all a few minutes and then I'll be right back. I'm going to play a song.
The soul of humanity cries. A roof above, a shelter from the storm, a gentle hand to keep a spirit warm, a plate of food, a mind that's free to learn, a simple peace, a righteous wage to earn. That's right. These are the needs to bedrock and the base, the sacred ground of the whole human race. But the screen is screaming, selling something cheap, while the real world babies cry themselves to sleep. Can't ignore it. We are human. Blood and bone and soul. Say it loud. With a right to be loved. The right to be loved. A right to be made whole. This is our slave. This is our sacred song. In the eyes of the creator. It's where we all belong. We are human. Worth more than they can price. Beyond the hateful whispers and the loaded yeah, they're painting pictures, twisted and unreal, teaching our children how they ought to feel. All that value's in the label on your shoes, or the filtered life you desperately choose. They magnify the hate, they celebrate the greed, and plant a poison to suffocate your weed. We gotta reach our children, pull them from the glow and show them a beauty that the media don't know. Let them know. No tech division, the mission of the television, spitting division, a mental prison. Got the youth chasing life, addicted to the feed, ignore the hunger, the fundamental need. They love their idols on the digital stage, putting the future knowledge in a ritual page. Now they're gonna break the cycle. Gotta cut the cord. The real word is powerful, mightier than the source. We teach them about their history, teach them about their grace, teach them about the power in every single face. Let's go. We are human. Loud and blown and soul. Everyone got a right to be loved. Got the right to be loved. A right to be made whole. This is our story. This is our sacred song. In the eyes of the creator. Where we all belong. We are human. Worth more than they can price. We are the hateful whispers and the loaded gun. We will build a world where every voice is heard. Every single one, from the suburbs to the burning. Love is not a whisper, but a mighty thundering wave. A word of action, breaking leather chain. A word of power, washing out the pain. It ain't a feeling, it's a verb. It's what you do for me, for them, for us, for you. Cause they just a track, just a call to action. For every mother, father, every single fraction of the community holding it down on the ground. Time to get loud, make a revolutionary sound. Look your child in the eye, I tell her that they matter. Tell them this spirit supplemental light and shine. I for the knowledge is the weapon, love is the shield, and the truth is the harvest. We gonna grow in this field, yeah. We are human. Oh yes,
Hey y'all. Thank y'all for rocking with me through that little song break. I just need a minute real quick. I want to go ahead and address your comment, Risa. I don't know if you're still here. And I understand. I understand what you're talking about because it typically happens to Black people a lot, but that's neither here nor there. So you saying it is racist to use white stereotypes against white women you are warring with. That is, in my opinion. Risa, listen, I am not using white stereotypes because I'm warring against any individual that happens to be Caucasian or white. I put these lives out and I do my lives and set my lives up this way because instead of just going live, which sometimes I do, and yelling and screaming and arguing and fighting with people, I want to be more intellectual with the content that I make. And when I say something, and a lot of us are saying something, as far as there is this energy and there is this, dynamic that certain individuals have and they hold, we are not making that up, Risa. And I've talked to you about this behind the scenes, and you know it. We don't make these things up, okay? I do politics. I do politics. I put political videos up here to show everybody what's going on. And we do global politics over here. So not just things that are happening here in the US, things that are happening worldwide, right? And I show and I put that content up, which you don't come to any of those lives, Risa. And I'm just going to say that, and I'm not trying to be petty, but I'm going to be real because, I'm always going to be real honest. And I'll tell you it here on my live, or I'll tell you behind the scenes. It doesn't matter. When I do those lives and that content, I don't see you pop in the chat. I'm just saying. Okay. So what I'm saying is this is something that is happening in this world, right? The world, the globe, not just the United States, but in many countries. Okay. We know racism is a thing. It's been a thing. It's going to continue to be a thing. And there's an uptick on it right now. Okay? With our current administration here in the United States. And Risa, you live in the United States just as I do. So I know you see it. I know you feel it. And I understand that when it comes to racism, racism is not just against Black people. Racism is racism. It's against races. You talk to me. I'll talk to you about the discrimination that you said that your sons get because of how they look. Right? We had that conversation. And I said that wasn't right. You know that I know that that's not right. So when I'm talking about certain things, yeah, I start with my race and my people first because that's what I am. I'm a Black woman, Risa. I have to start there. I start there. But when it comes to activism and humanitarianism, I want fairness and kindness and safety for everybody, right? So it's like this thing that where you activists and you're fighting for what's right for the people. You have to understand when I say the people are the human race. It's all races of people, Risa. But yeah, I will sometimes have to be like, all right, y'all sit tight. We got to have a Black conversation right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is sometimes. Like this is a meeting right now for the Black people. We're having a meeting. We're having a conversation. Doesn't mean you're not invited. Doesn't mean you're not welcome. Doesn't mean that we don't like you. But there is a compartmentalizing that needs to happen sometimes. But for me, how I move and I operate, I want to fight for global unity and world peace. Call me the biggest hippie ever. I don't care what y'all want to call me. Maybe that's what I am, the biggest hippie ever. I want world peace. I don't want to see people over in Iran, children families being blown apart and losing their lives. Do you think I want to see that? You think that's something that I think is okay? No, I'm not that person. That's why I do the type of content that I do here on my channel. I don't like that. I don't want to see no human person going through nothing. However, when it comes to not a whole race of people, but certain individuals that decide that they want to be nasty work to another race or group of people, oh yeah, I'm gonna pop them. I'm gonna kick them right in the ass. Be very clear about that. Because yeah, I don't tolerate that shit. Period. However, if me and you was out at a restaurant and somebody was coming for you and you're my friend, I also equally would fight for you as well. This is what I hope people understand about me. I'm not on this, whatever y'all think it is. Like, yes, I care about my people, my race first, because we need the most work. We're the less checked on. We're the less cared about. We're the less talked about. We're the less respected. So I gotta speak up for my people first. I have to do that. But just because I do that doesn't mean I don't care about anybody else or any other race or anybody else's struggle that they going through, because it's a human thing. I don't want to see any human being going through the things that they have to go through. Losing their mothers, being separated from their children. You think that I'm the type of person that's going to sit up here with my cheerleading pom-poms and be like, yeah, that's what needs to happen. Take them, rile them up, wrangle them up like common motherfucking cattle and get them out. Come on, Risa. You know me better than that. And I'm not going to talk about it anymore because it gets me a little upset. But I think for the most part, people who know me, I have the right to that. Okay, rest, calm down. Risa, anyone can be a Karen. Thank you, Star. So that's what I was saying. Like, I get it that unfortunately, maybe Caucasian women have won the race when it comes to the Olympic medal, when it comes to Karenism. I can't be sure. Most Caucasian women are the ones that are always popped and shown to be Karens. But being a Karen is not a Caucasian energy. It's just an energy, period. So any race of person can be a Karen, right? And so we've seen that. We've seen that. Okay, do you want me to show another video where there's other races of Karens that are not Caucasian? Like that, could that make it better for you or make you feel like this is not a racist live? And then you make it say like, Star is my op. Oh my God. So look at here. Look at here. We are all grown women on this platform, right? Risa, you know you're not innocent. You know that. And I've talked to you about that. And whatever you have going on with other people outside of me, I don't necessarily know about. I know what you did in some other places and spaces. That's all I'm going to say. And you talked about it and you apologized for it and all the things like that. And now I'm moving on from that, Risa. I'm done with it. I'm not going to keep harping on these things over and over again, day after day after day. I'm not doing that, Risa. I'm not. And I noticed that when I'm doing a topic, you try to come in and then you want to say things to distract me from what we're talking about. I don't like that, Risa. You know I don't like that. And I've told you about that. You and Star are grown women. Whatever y'all got going on with each other, trust me, I know Star can handle it. And apparently, I guess you can too. So deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? This is not the time. What do you think? This is a boxing zone over here on my channel? This is not a boxing zone. But you to try to jump in the ring and then ask Star to get in the ring and then y'all start fighting with each other. That's not what this channel is. That's not what the platform is about. And that's not what this content is about today. So come on, Risa. Like, please, I've already talked to you multiple times. I just don't like that. I don't like that. And Risa, I want you as a person that I've tried to give respect to and time to and tolerance to and all the things. When you come in here on my platform and my live, right? And you enter into my chat and you're saying the things that you're saying to try and shift the content, the talking point, and all the things, and make it about you. Do you not see how you're kind of proving me to be right when it comes to this Karen energy, Risa? And I'm asking you this out of respect because I want you to be better. I want you to do better. I don't want you to keep moving around in a world like this because maybe you don't know. This is actually proving Karen energy because you're coming into my channel in my chat with your talking points and things that are bothering you or making you upset, and you're taking over. We were having a conversation and doing a live and a presentation, and now you have come over here because you're in your feelings and you're trying to take the stage over, and you want all of the talking points to be around your feelings and your issues that you may have with other people that are here on my channel. That's Karen energy. I've been trying to tell you this, Risa. I've been trying to tell you this, Risa. I have. Do you not see how that correlates what you're doing right now? And what you do a lot of the times when you come over here to my channel, you're not talking about the topic that we're talking about. You come in with your own talking point and issue at hand that you have, and you put that in the chat. You fuss with people in the chat. You make a distraction. And I don't know if you're doing it on purpose, if you know that you're doing that, or you don't. But that's what you're doing recently. So you're really sitting here and you're literally proving what I'm showing in this content to be right. Everybody stop. Reese is in the chat. Reese is in the building. And what I have to say and how I feel and what I got going on is what's most important. So stop what you're doing because I'm here and I have something to say. I don't like that. Why are you doing that to me? You know I don't treat you bad. So why would you come over here to my channel and do like that? The only way we do sweet is to have the conversation, be honest. We have to talk about this at all. Risa, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? What are we talking about? I am talking about Karen energy. You just came in here and demonstrated Karen energy. My video is not racist. My video is real because this is what we experience. And I'm not saying from you, right? Specifically, I'm saying this is what people experience sometimes out in the world. You've seen the videos. These are people that are out in public places, doing these things, causing torment, thinking that their feelings and their thoughts and what's important to them matters above anybody else's. And everybody freeze, sit tight, because I walked in the room and how I feel and what I want to say and what I want to express is more important than anybody else who is in the room. That's Karen energy, Risa. And I've told you about this on the back end, and you know it. I told you when you were giving off Karen energy. Because I said, maybe the girl just don't know. But then you come back and you do this again here today on my live. What am I supposed to think, Risa? I don't like that. And what do we need to talk about? What? What is the issue, Risa? Why did you come in here and say that my life is racist? What were you saying is racist, Risa? I want to know what's racist. Please tell me how I'm being racist, Risa. Please. My live is racist? Come tell me why. The link was in the chat. Anybody can hit the link. Anybody can come up. I do not care. It is fine. But please don't prove me right. Because you're sitting up here and being a prime example of what I'm doing the live for, Risa. Why are you doing that? You do have the right to your own opinion, but what is your opinion about? I know. What is your opinion about, Risa? What is it about? Now, Risa says, well, Asher, I got you, Asher. Asher said, do a live, Risa. Express your dream for the Karens of the earth, child. Risa says, will do, Asher. Shall I tag you? Like, what are you talking about? Like, Risa, come on, girl. I'm trying with you. I really am. What are you doing? Is this a clout chase? Why are you clout chasing off of me? My channel is small. Go clout chase off of a bigger channel if that's what it's about. You know that people come and watch your lives, Risa. You know that I've shown you support before, Risa. Why are you doing this? Why are you coming over here? Look, I'm about to get back into the video and get back to my content and end this. Because I'm at 2 hours and 25 minutes. I got to keep going on with my content. Why? The distractions. And then don't sit up here and gaslight and lie as if I have not tried. I have tried. You know that I've talked to you. You know that I told you that the things that you've done are Karen energy, racist, distasteful. I was trying to help you. Because I said maybe she didn't know. Maybe she's not getting it. I didn't want to see you get dogpiled, Risa. But why are you doing this? But Joe, I don't care for I just, oh God, okay. All right. The link is in the chat. So if anybody wants to hear. Oh, a Sunny Time. Who is Sunny Time? I don't know who that is. That doesn't look real. I'm telling y'all, like, this is, it's so hard. It's so hard. Y'all don't know how much I fight with myself and beat myself up. Y'all have no idea. Because I'm trying. I'm trying to bridge the gap. I'm trying to, like, love everybody. Support everybody. Like, I'm trying. Like, I can't do it. I can't do it no more. I don't know what to do. Risa, you said I never come over here. That's a lie. You do. Not often, but you do. Why would you lie? Don't lie. And when you come, what typically happens, Risa? You're talking about something against the topic, which, yeah, people can have difference of opinion. That's fine. But most of the time when you come over here, you're talking about something that has nothing to do with the topic at hand, Risa. And you know that. You know that you do that. You know you do that. I tried, thank you, Star, to create peace. None of us is perfect. None of us. Like, we all have our issues. And I'm just trying to meet people in the middle. Like, can we just all get along? But it be this weird stuff like this. Like, you're listening to things more than I think. Did you listen to the live, Risa? Did you listen to any of the videos that I played on this live, Risa? And if you did and you felt triggered, then I don't know. I think that just speaks volumes. Why would you feel triggered? Nobody else who's in the chat and is over here with me feels triggered because they don't operate that way. So they don't feel triggered. But why you come over here and say, what is racist? You still have yet to tell me what is racist. What is racist? All I'm doing is showing videos of actual real Karens, real Karen energy, things that happen to us in everyday life, talking about it. The last time you came was to Disrupt the Live on the MA, and you say you knew all about the case. And guess what? Apart from trying to be contrary and go to Queen's Live, you haven't done your own true crime live. Risa, come on. Why do you keep doing that? Why do you keep coming over here and doing that when I'm live? I'm not mad at Golden, seriously. I just did not like how you started this live, and I did not like framing white Karens. That is a part of the problem. Using Risa, listen, baby. Let me tell you something real quick. Because I like you. I do. Risa, you do like, okay, hold on. Give me a second. Risa, you do know that majority of Karens are Caucasian and white. I'm not saying that all Karens or that Karen stereotype, Karen title, right, that we have now in modern day time is only fit to be put on Caucasian women. I'm not saying that. It's an energy, right? So there is a Karen energy, but a majority of the Karens who carry that energy and do the things that they do are Caucasian, Risa. They are. And people who are on the other side of Karenism, they can talk about it because they experience and they know about it. It is a thing. And it's not a stereotype. It's a ratio. A ratio. Make it mathematical, Risa. It's mathematical. It's not a stereotype. It's true. That's number one. It's true. It happens. We experience it. At the core, it's majorly coming from Caucasian women. Risa, that's a fact. That's a fact. We got too many facts to prove it. So I don't think that's racist. I think that's honest. I think the problem is the racists don't want to be honest. You see how that works there? You flip that around. You twist that around. So, and I'm not saying that you are, Risa. All I'm saying is no one else who came to my chat and my channel to engage in this content said the things that you said just now. They honestly understood it and they get it. So why do you fight and push against it? Because if it doesn't trigger you, if it doesn't bother you, then you wouldn't be saying these type of things. There are Karens. Majority of them are Caucasian. And a lot of people understand that that is factual. And I am showing you evidence and proof on this live. And I can get much more. I can get much more. I can go and find videos as soon as yesterday of a Karen, Caucasian woman somewhere, disrupting the peace. I can show you that. Or how about next time when I go to the grocery store in my neighborhood, I hit the record button and I record for you in real time a Karen that is in my grocery store wreaking havoc over people that she don't like. Whether they black, whether they Spanish, we don't know. Whatever reason she feels to be upset and hate somebody for today, that's who she's going to go after and treat terrible. It's up to her, right? Because the ball is always in her court. So please stop, Risa. I've tried to be very nice, and I don't like this. You're not gonna do this. You're not gonna do this to me. I've tried to be very nice, and we got to get back to this content. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not.
Mommy, are you finished?
Hey, baby boy. Let's keep playing some more of the video, y'all. I'll meet y'all in the chat.
End up seeking out treatment for that particular pattern. The folks with antisocial personality disorder also almost never seek out treatment. They get in trouble for something, and then they're sometimes forced into treatment.
Briefly describe what antisocial personality disorder is, because that name is so misleading.
Antisocial personality disorder is one of the most important and one of the most unfortunately named diagnoses out there. It throws my students off, it throws off trainees, it throws off lay people. Antisocial personality disorder is actually quite dangerous. It can be quite dangerous. It doesn't mean what we think. A lot of people take the antisocial to mean, oh, these are people who don't want to be with other people, almost as though they're socially anxious. Not at all. The unfortunate term historically came from this idea that these were people who were anti-society. They were anti the norms of society. They would break the rules of society. That was where the anti-social came from. Like I said, such an unfortunate name, because we use anti-social to mean someone who doesn't want to socialize. Like,
what would you call it?
I would call it psychopathic personality disorder.
Yes.
That's what I would term it. And antisocial personality disorder is the diagnostic term for things that are called psychopathy and sociopathy in the popular literature, in the media at large, in all kinds of other writing, in criminology writing, but it's not a diagnostic. Those are not diagnostic terms, but those two terms definitely ascribe more to antisocial personality disorder. Now, what is it? Antisocial personality disorder is a pattern whereby a person not only lacks empathy, but they think the rules do not apply to them. They do not adhere to them. They break moral codes, social codes, legal codes. They have a failure to take any kind of responsibility. They're very deceitful. They exploit other people to achieve their ends. They will take risks that will put other people in danger. So they're dangerous. They're dangerous. And here's the ringer. Here's the ringer. I personally think that to really call it antisocial personality disorder, you're talking about someone who lacks remorse for the bad things they do. And that's where it gets scary.
Can they fake it?
That's where it gets scary. I'm sorry?
Can they fake it?
Can a person fake,
remorse.
They fake remorse? Oh, absolutely. You can fake anything. You can fake empathy. You can fake remorse. You can fake anything. And they do. They will, when they're finally hauled in front of the press conference, they'll cry crocodile tears, and a year later they'll do it again. That's antisocial personality disorder.
Which clusters of disorders do you think are most common?
In terms of the personality disorders overall, I actually think that the cluster B disorders may be more common. And the only reason I think I'm going to say that is because when we do research on these disorders, they're the ones that are more clinically compelling. So we may see more clients with these patterns because, especially in the case of borderline personality, they're more likely to get help.
That's right.
In the case of antisocial personality disorder, they're more likely to end up in prison. So there are these two groups of folks we study a lot because of the sort of the distress we see in borderline personality and the danger that can be created by antisocial personality. So if you were, and there's 4 disorders in that group too, so it's going to up your number up a little bit. I think that the cluster B disorders probably are the ones that have the highest prevalence rates across the 3 groups overall. Yeah.
Well, you have more disorders and people are having to go get help. So
they're more disruptive. That's who you're going to see. I'd say if you were working in the mental health business, you'll see that a lot. In cluster C, there's things like avoidant personality disorder, which is, it almost looks like a social anxiety disorder. So you will see that sometimes, but sometimes we don't even know which variant we're seeing, social anxiety or avoidant personality. And with the cluster A disorders, the schizoid, the schizotypal, the paranoid personalities, these are people who actually look quite severely mentally ill. They're incredibly either socially withdrawn or they appear as so odd, they almost look psychotic. They're sometimes overrepresented in residentially unstable, like homeless populations or people who are in and out of long-term psychiatric facilities.
Is there hope for people who are in the cluster B camp?
In terms of hope for cluster B clients, it varies. It varies.
Hold on. We don't hear that answer a lot.
Oh, it varies. Yeah. And that's the problem. That speaks to how heterogeneous the disorders that make up this cluster are.
If I talk about bipolar disorder, if I talk about anxiety, depression, ADHD, the doctor across from me will say, there's so much hope.
No, very variable. I would say that the most good research on treatment outcomes and best practices can be found for borderline personality disorder. I believe firmly that if you have a client with borderline personality disorder and you can give them trauma-focused care, dialectical behavioral therapy, whatever psychiatric medications they may need to manage other sorts of conditions they have, and other kinds of adjunctive therapies that will help them with their symptoms, the treatment literature can really show some good long-term outcomes, but the treatment has to be consistent and long-term, and that's often passed beyond the financial ability of a lot of people. That's what's so unfortunate, because I think there is tremendous hope for people with borderline personality if they get the kinds of treatment. And if the client won't cooperate with the treatment, then all bets are off. With narcissistic personality disorder, you know what I say about that, you're not going to see much change. And when you do, it's glacial, and the amount of change you see is often not enough for the people around them to feel like things are better. But with antisocial personality disorder, that disorder might be the most hopeless of all. These are folks who will try to outwit and outfox a therapist, who will fake it and are often court-ordered to go to therapy as a condition of parole or probation or something like that. And so they'll sit there for 10 sessions and say, I don't need to say anything. I just need you to sign that document so that I came here for 10 sessions. So you can get a lot of resistance, and they can often try to intimidate a therapist. You have to be a very specially trained therapist to work with that population, particularly those who have very, very difficult criminal histories. And if you're dealing with sort of the more neat and tied up antisocial personality disorder, like the CEO variant, they're very manipulative. They can be very exploitative. Again, they will often try to outwit the therapist. They're really not motivated to change because they really, truly don't think there's anything to change. So if anything, they're just really out to game the system. That's not progress. So I would say definitely for them, of all groups, they'll have the worst outcomes.
What percentage of your clients do you think fall in the cluster B category?
Oh, with some cluster B symptomatology, well over 50%. Maybe even a little less. Actually,
I thought you were going to say 5%.
Oh, heck no. And actually, that's what I choose to focus in. But maybe 40%.
You know, that is good though, because now at least people are getting help or in the space to get help.
And there are people out there who specialize in this. Like people who specialize in dialectical behavioral therapy, it's called DBT. I'd say they see 90% because they're working with clients who have a lot of borderline personality sorts of symptoms. People who work in prisons are probably seeing antisocial personality at the level of 60, 70%. But I'd say almost half of the clients I work with, I choose to do that though, because like I said, although I would say maybe even, all right, I'll be 35%, because the majority of clients I work with are trying to negotiate a family or other relationship with a person with a cluster B disorder. A solid third of them are struggling with these issues.
Well, that leads perfectly into my next question. Knowing that if somebody has watched this video this far, they have been likely given a diagnosis of a disorder in the cluster B family, or they know somebody who has. What could I ask them on their behalf that you would think would be most beneficial for them to hear?
I think that the big question people have is from the person, there's two sides of it. From the side of the person who's experiencing it is, what do I do? I'm not only always miserable, I feel like I'm making people miserable. And then from the other side, I think the question would be, what do I do? I feel like nothing I say to this person ever makes things better. In fact, all I do is feel like things get worse, and I feel like I'm always walking on eggshells. What do I do?
And
so it's really, what do I do?
Yeah, what's the answer to that?
I mean, for the people who are experiencing this symptomatology, you got to get therapy. You're not going to think your way out of this one. You're not going to meditate your way out of this one. You got to get therapy, and with somebody who is trained in things like DBT and working with these kinds of patterns. Okay, that's have to.
Yes, Dr. Yip.
All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it right there. We have almost reached the 3-hour mark. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me through this live. But I did want to show a couple things from beginning to end, as far as some of the things that are really disturbing and we see that we have a lot of problems with as far as this Karen energy archetype. So we did play some videos on that, but we also wanted to take a deeper dive as well, because for me at least, I feel as though people are the way they are because of a reason, right? And some of these things can be psychological, neurological. We can't be sure. I'm not saying any specific person on any specific thing. I'm just saying that we just never know. When we mingle around out here in the world, the social media platforms and, the real world, we come into encounter with a lot of different people, and we just may never know what may be going on with that person. And one of the things that I like to do and I try to do is give people grace. I give people time and understanding and patience and love and all of the things. Sometimes that comes back to bite you in the behind. Okay, trust me, I know it. But sometimes people are really out here going through something and struggling through things. And a lot of times people are struggling through things that they don't know that they're struggling through, right? Because they haven't, gone to see anybody, a doctor, get help, or see if there's something, that's going on with themselves that they may could get in a little bit better of alignment. I can only speak on these things because I have lived through and experienced these things. And so, yes, I speak with a psychiatrist. I get mental help for my mental issues. I go to the doctor. I do the things that need to be done so I can be the best version of myself. And I know that I'm not there yet. And there's a lot more work that needs to be done. And some of it can come from the medical standpoint. Some of it comes from the spiritual standpoint. And some of it comes from what I choose to do because I want to be a better person in this life. And so that's why I talk about these things. And I do have a lot of the time the patience that I do, and the love and, the understanding that I do for other people, because I know that none of us are perfect. We're just human beings. Okay. So let's go ahead, y'all. We're going to sign off today. We're going to end this live, y'all. I'm getting ready to go out here and strike up the grill because I'm making some beef ribs on the grill, y'all. For 4th of July, we cooking out. And so I'm going to go ahead and get that ready. I wanted to go ahead and do this live because it was hot. Like the earlier part of the day here, it'd be hot. But the later it get cooler. So that's why I'm going to go ahead out there and grill now and stuff. But I came here to do this live today. But I want to leave you with some good energy to carry with you, okay? We talk about the hard things on this platform because we care about the truth and the integrity. But never forget that the ultimate goal is always to build each other up, to walk in love, and to stay focused on the positive things in life. No matter what toxic energy is floating around out there in the world or in these digital spaces, do not let it steal your joy. And I'm telling you this because I have to tell myself this, right? I have to apply these things to myself too, y'all. I'm not pointing fingers now. What I apply to myself is what I want you to apply to yourself. Protect your peace. Stand tall in your purpose and remember who you are. I also want to take a quick moment during today's broadcast to send a massive intentional shout out to the brilliant Dr. Ramani. Okay. I thank her for her incredible insight, the dedication, and the powerful light that she brings to the community and the platform. And if you guys have not checked out, her platform, please do so. I will put the links in my description box if you guys need to find it, but y'all can type it and you can find her. And she helps, if, and we know what we're going through right now. If you don't have insurance coverage and things like that, and you may not can go to see a therapist or anything like that, you can get some helpful tips and information that I think is really solid from Dr. Ramani. So we appreciate her and we value the impact that she is making on this platform. And everybody in the chat, if y'all enjoyed, the segment with her and some of the things that she had to say, please check out her platform. And finally, y'all, today is July 4th. I want to wish every single one of you a beautiful, safe, an incredible happy 4th of July. As you gather together with your families, fire up the grills like I'm about to do with y'all, and enjoy the holiday weekend, let's wrap ourselves in a spirit of gratitude, unity, and love. Take care of one another, cherish the moments with your loved ones, and let's keep lifting each other up higher. Thank y'all so much for spending time with me today on 4th of July. Keep standing in your truth, keep pouring out those good vibes, and remember that unity is our greatest strength. So I hope you all have a beautiful holiday. Peace, love, and light to you all. And you know how Golden do it. We're going to end it with a bop. So thank you all for joining me on this live. I really appreciate it. Whether you was in the chat or just listening from the cut, I appreciate all of your presence. And I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your 4th of July. Thank you so much, V-Love, and thank you, Star. I love you all. Let's go ahead and turn it up. Let's get the music going. And I'll talk to y'all tomorrow, y'all. We'll be back with another live. All right, y'all. Everybody have a good rest of the day. Happy 4th. Bye. Golden out.
Can you feel that? Yeah. You love the aesthetic, you love the vibe. But you feel the person that's living inside. That's that 1920s cotton club ghost. You want the talent, but you hate the host. You call it curiosity, I call it theft. Leaving the struggle and the trauma on the left. That's a disconnect, a bridge built of sand. Trying to own the culture, you don't understand. Trying to face it's that Karen energy, police in the block. The same entitlement that put the system in the lock. You say you ain't racist, it's a misunderstanding. But your comfort is a weapon and your ego is demanding. Bridge the gap or watch it burn. History is a page that you refuse to turn. Feel that in your chest? Let's talk. Drake, pedomania, medicalized hate. Calling us crazy just to seal up the fate. Now it's tone police and then calm down, please. Why you navigate the world with the manager's ease? You're a tourist here, I'm a resident of the fire. You want the cool, but you're a cultural liar. It's the let me see your ID for no reason at all. Historical entitlement, watch the empire fall. Intent ain't the impact. Ignorance is a choice. If you wanna bridge the gap, give the truth a voice. Listen, listen. From Jim Crow laws to the corporate suite, the same Karen spirit, just a different street. We don't need your ally posts on the feed. We need you to check the entitlement and the greed. We construct the house that your ego built. We don't want your apology. We don't want your guilt. Yeah, Mama Warrior. The golden queen frequency. If it don't rattle your soul, you ain't listening. What's the gap? I heard the whispers, I did. Saw the thumbnails. Whole lot of confidence behind Wi-Fi passwords. Golden Queen. Let's talk facts. See, that's your first mistake. Thought silence meant surrender. Now I was collecting receipts. receipts while y'all was collecting impressions. Let's go. Computer gangsters with a comment section badge. Keyboard carrying energy wrapped in an algorithm mask. Playing YouTube detective with a copy-paste degree clown. Building whole conspiracies that never bother me. You chasing notifications, I'm chasing legacy. Difference between influence and credibility. Every live stream manufactured, every headline rehearsed. Truth don't panic, it just works. Type in my family's name for another little spike. Selling fake outrage, hoping numbers take flight. But clicks ain't character, trends don't last. Receipts got a funny way of catching a fast. Y'all confuse attention with respect every day. Then wonder why your audience slowly fade away. Built your whole platform chasing internet smoke. Meanwhile your credibility already broke. Keep posting, keep guessing, guess again. Every lie got an expiration date. Tick tock. Truth don't need filters, nah. Truth don't need edits, never. They talking loud, so loud. From a computer screen. Click, click, carrying energy. Thinking they intimidating me. Please, whole lot of typing, whole lot of pretending. Fake when the receipts pull up, that's the end of game over. Facts over feelings, always. Truth over trends, facts. Y'all chasing viral views. I'm building something that'll never end. You wanted a breakdown, thought I lose control. Instead I brought receipts that expose the whole show. Roll it, everybody bold with a webcam light. Funny, internet worries disappear in real life. Where they at? Making 10 assumptions off a 30-second clip. Wow. Then calling that journalism? Man, stop it. Cut it. Don't monetize confused back. I monetize truth. Let's go. Difference between character and chasing YouTube juice. Every fake narrative got an expiration stamp. Walk in the room and watch the whole thing collapse. I don't gotta yell, evidence speaks. Facts. I don't gotta chase, integrity keep. Always. You can keep the thumbnail, keep on. You can keep the clickbait, take it. You can keep the gossip, yours. I'm keeping my stand, I'm keeping my peace. I'm keeping the refrain. Computer gangsters, carrying energy. Typing like they running something out today. Truth don't glitch, never. Integrity don't freeze. Every fake story fall into its mean. When they choose chaos, we choose clarity, clarity. When they chase attention, views, we build legacy. Golden. Keep the screenshots, smile. Keep the thumbnails, go ahead. Keep the gossip, it's yours. I keep the fact, I keep the proof. I keep my name golden and my integrity. Golden speaks. They don't know her like I do, nah. Golden. She moved through the city with her hair held high. Pretty brown skin with a storm inside. Everybody see the glow, they don't know the pressure. Smile so warm, but her heart no weather. Late nights riding while the skyline blur. Trying not to cry when the memories occurred. Had to learn fast, everybody ain't loyal. Some people love you long as they control you. Now she move careful, energy expensive. Too many fake vibes hiding in the friendship. Used to give love with her hands wide open. Now every scar got the whole vibe frozen. They don't know her like I. No, they don't know her like I. She goes by golden. Soft voice, deep soul, hope or glowing. She goes by golden. City lights dancing with her heart stay open. Long dark roads but she still stay focused. Everybody watching but they don't really know her. Too much grace with the games they throwing. Real love, rare soul spirits they got it. Beautiful soul but the pain left marks in it. Mirror tell the truth when the lights go dim. All the things she carry weight heavy within. She survived nights she don't even speak on. Still finding peace while the whole world ain't wrong. Funny how the love disappear when you're healing. Funny how the fate come around when you win. Now she trusts God more than people intend. Just cause smiles hide from me and hidden addiction. Still soft-hearted but she way less naive. Can't keep pouring love but there's nothing received. Still dancing slow through the hurt and confusion. Trying not to lose herself chasing illusions. still glowing through this room. Still safe, still dangerous, still chosen. She goes back golden. Snow so deep, made the whole room notice. Heavy lies couldn't break what was chosen. Still standing tall while the whole world folding. She goes back golden. Heartbreak turned to pain cinematic. Now the tears got rhythm when she's singing, and they still don't know her like that. They still don't know her like that. Spend too much time looking for love in strangers. Spend too much time. Spend too much time letting outside voices shake the mirror. But at the end of the night, when the lights fade, when the city cried, when the tears dried, we still got